Okay. Good all around looks. Alrighty. Keep an eye out for Will.
Yeah.
What's up, Baker Dale? What are you guys up to? Let's see you. Getting started here. Another night, another Sunday. So we weren't on last Sunday, we were on Monday last week. Summons. Well, summoning's good. I like to hear it. Our new sponsor said he's going to try and get us a bid, which is...
He pitched this
but it
wonderful
may be a little
series
ways
of
out,
books to
but
us.
he's going to make an
Yeah,
effort.
he called them the Gygaxian Fantasy Worlds, and what he envisioned was this encyclopedic set of books for role players, writers, game designers, the whole lot of us that we could use in making our games, creating our adventures, writing stuff for publishable content, whatever it may be. And there was really no end to what he envisioned this series to be. We eventually published The Canting Crew, The World Builder, Living Fantasy, 7 volumes in total. We had another 3 that were ready to go to print, another 3 or 4 after that we were working on. So the series was really open-ended. We are bringing these back. That's what this Kickstarter is. We've got 7 books online ready to be printed. We've got another 3 right after that we want to get it minimally out as we were working on them at the time. Those will be out definitely in PDF, depending on how well the Kickstarter does, and maybe even more than that. Once we kind of push beyond the necessary stretch goals and all that mess. But welcome to the what we're calling the Gary Gygax World Building Archives.
Rory's got
and
blue,
please give us your
something
support.
there, so
share it
they're
around
up,
if you
which
can.
is good to see.
Pledge if you can.
No,
whatever
John,
you need to
but
do,
just,
whatever
Rory
you can do for
game.
us in the memory of Gary Gygax, we very much appreciate it.
Yeah, good to see.
Trollord Games, join the fray.
Hope everyone had a nice weekend. Next week's always tough because, you know, you're coming off a week where it was short. You know, you had a nice short week, and, you know, you had a long weekend, and you started the week on Tuesday, and this week it's a full 5 days.
Yep, it was compact in the beginning with Gabbin, and then we had Gabbin on Monday and Legends and Lore a couple of days after. So yeah,
it was real quick. Yeah. Yeah. So great to see GREYHAWK Mike lurking.
Hey, yeah.
Villains. This is another. This topic is not a Mike topic, but there's other. Do another Mike topic on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, Mike's great topics. Yeah.
Nice.
He's a topic machine. Yeah.
He is. He is. Oh my God, it's early, and we went through all the ads already. See, when I'm one ad one video I had short because of.
Oh, yeah. And we had a good walk with Chico, and he had a lot of dogs to play with, so he's pooped now.
That's
so
cool.
he's completely
He's
pooped
unconscious.
out.
It looks.
Yeah,
Wow.
Oh yeah, he just curled up there, pooped out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we came in like, was it like 5-6 minutes ago, and he just pooped out. He was so tired. So I don't think he will.
Just
Yeah, he moved a little bit. Yeah, he just looked at me and I talked about him. He can't keep his eyes open, so I don't think he will do much for the next, for the foreseeable future. Yep. But a tired dog is a happy dog.
Yeah. It's good.
Usually. Yeah.
We're like 10 minutes early. Wow.
Yeah. We can do some shout outs and talk about other things first.
Yeah,
and then,
probably
and then,
will, yeah.
And then we can do the same thing at the end again. So yeah.
Giveaway set, so I don't forget that. See you both. See you, Chris. We don't let that run all the way through, but Grouchy Monster. Hey, what's going on? What a name. That's cool. All right. What's up, Keith? Long shot. What's going on tonight? Your favorites. Well, at least some people's favorites. Villains, feuds, and anti-heroes. Yes. What's up, Courtney? Cool. Already got that rolling. Yeah, I was so, like, overall, I'm trying to get ahead, trying to get caught up, because we'll talk about, we'll talk about what's going on this week, stream-wise, because, you know, I can't help myself. I gotta, like, go bigger. So, it's always that way. Waiting for Will, and then, we'll see if Tim shows up. That's why he's ever mysterious. What's up, Michael? Alright, so it's Anna and me. We're waiting on Will, but that's okay. It's early still. That rhymed. Hey, Kurt. I just made a rhyme. Isn't that frickin' amazing, Anna? Even though I didn't even try. So good evening. Anna and me right now.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see Will and ever mysterious Tim if he gets on. Hey, Mike. Good to see you, Death Ray. Good to see you, GREYHAWK. Mike. Good to see everyone. This should be a fun topic tonight because who doesn't love a cheesy anti-hero to brighten up your day, or talking about villains, the bad guys and gals, and you know I have a lot of them. And you know, we can go through some in the published source, we go through some in the campaign, but let's talk about this first. So we got, now I don't know if you don't know, everyone out there, but I got challenged to do I've said this a couple times, so if I repeat myself, I apologize. I got challenged to do a 24-hour D&D stream, right? Now I'm like, oh, okay. But of course, I can't just do it. I gotta do an entire theme behind it. So it's gonna be historical, you know, Tales of the Hateful Wars. and it'll start 9 o'clock Friday night on July 12th, and it'll run through. And hopefully, I don't kill myself. But we'll have at least 3 games. I'm trying to get cast members up now. I got to make ancestor characters for everyone, and that's what this chicken scratch piece of paper is right here. Then I got to figure out who can play in what time slots and which scenario I'm going to do in which time slots and what terrain I got to put in each time slot. So yeah, minor thing, right? So I'm working on that now. I got 1 character completed, and that's one of Coco's, and sent off to her. So a really cool, the mother of her character Faunalin, which is neat. But before this week coming up, I decided, okay, let's do something a little cool. Let's link some stuff here. So Thursday night, I have one guy out. Bill's. It's his anniversary, so he won't be here. So it'll be a Night of Ulick adventure. It'll be called Hints of the Past. And you'll be like, what does this have to do with anything? Well, you have to wait and see at the end. But I'm going to do the next 3 adventures are going to all be linked into this Hints of the Past thing. And they're going to link into some things that are going on in the July. So you're going to find out. So there's going to be some like Easter eggs and foreshadowing going on. And I got Coco playing in all 3. She's going to play in this game Thursday. And then Saturday morning, good to see you, darling. I have Coco, Mike Disney back, Korg, and Rob Phantom NJ in for a game on Saturday morning. That'll be part 2, and then part 3 will be a week from Thursday. It'll be like the last stream I have before I go on vacation. So we'll do a 3-parter on this, and we're going to find out some things. And if you, I've been linking it to a lot of people who are being involved, but if you really want to know more about what is going on here, this is where you want to go. How you doing, Will? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, you were really low. I guess I couldn't hear you. So we're gonna go here.
I just wasn't talking. I was letting you finish your spiel.
Okay, we're gonna go to here. We're gonna go to GREYHAWK Stories. All right, and we're gonna go right here. We're gonna go to GREYHAWK Stories. This is Tommy John Kelly's site, and then you go down to the stories here. Boom. And then you go down here and look at all this stuff. It's wonderful. It's all GREYHAWK based too. Hateful Wars, saga of Kristid Olensdatter, which is the daughter of the Prince of Ulick. And here, oh my gosh, the Ever Mysterious Tim is coming on now. Whoa! And here
impressive.
Is yes. Oh my gosh, what's that say?
Awesome. Hello, my name is Awesome.
That's great. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. This novel, which is based on 2 paragraphs in an original publication, and that's what we're going to be doing. This is all right here, and you can also download the book itself that he wrote for it. And chapter 8 is the one you want to really go to, which talks about the death of Prince Triseren, because we're going to run this. So if you're in that game, you're dying more than likely, but that's okay. So
that's something that people should do more of. They should go through and make like modules about important GREYHAWK events in the past.
Well, thank you, Will. Who came up with that idea?
I don't know. Probably a smart dude.
Yes, and running it 24 hours straight. So how can I go wrong except by passing out?
Yeah, I don't know about that part of it, but
well, I got challenged. I took up the challenge. Let's go big or go home, right? Let's have
good
fun.
luck.
Thanks.
That's all I got to say.
Yes.
There's no way in hell I would do that.
No, but I appreciate you. If need be, you playing in there. I got 15 people who've kind of committed now so far. Not even counting my players. So, I'll see if I can get Tim in there because Tim loves a good romping destruction, right? It's good to see you, Tim.
That's
good
a face of destruction. What's up, Tim?
Dad doing better?
Hi. Yes, he actually is back at home. So.
Oh, good. I didn't know there was an issue.
They have help come in, a couple hours in the morning just to make sure everything's taken care of, and also to lighten the load on my mom.
Yeah. Good to hear.
So doing much better. Thank you.
That's good to hear.
Good.
I'm glad.
Yep.
I know. I've been telling them, do more PT, drink more water. When you're in rehab and they say, all right, we did enough for today, say, no, one more time.
One more.
Mm-hmm.
And one more set.
It's like boot camp again.
Yeah. He is, not always receptive to my input.
Shock.
Weird.
Yeah, funny how that just transcends all father-son relationships pretty much.
Yep.
I was always receptive to his inputs, so I don't know where this comes from.
I can tell I was not when I grew up.
I wasn't either. I used to
No,
think,
I listened, and so I made sure not to do it. So
Yeah.
I was offensively well behaved, I think. I think
you were overly well behaved.
not overly.
just enough.
We
To be a
can't go to
great
we
example.
can't go to the after hours party. There may be
I saved
bad
you
girls
from.
there.
I probably saved you from diarrhea and syphilis. You're welcome.
That's right. See, there you go.
You saved Walt and me from yes. Okay, well thanks. Thanks for saving me from that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay. So well,
And illicit drugs too, probably.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
And underage drinking.
did you ever see Clerks? The original Clerks. Jay and Sal, I think it's Jay. He goes to Dante's had that awful day. He goes, "You smoke pot?" And he goes, "No, but I ought to start." So that's that's the way I feel right now. So yeah. All right.
Can always be worse.
Yeah,
I
it
try to
can
remind
be
myself
worse.
of that all the time.
So can be worse. So tonight, villains, feuds, and anti-heroes. Right up everyone's alley here. And look, I even have Gord in here because he's really an anti-hero. He's not a nice guy. He's not like a good do-gooder.
That's true. Yeah, he's not the. Yeah,
No, he's not. So we can talk about a whole
he's
bunch
the center of the stories rather than being a hero. But
Yeah.
sometimes he's a hero. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, heroes are different
Well,
than
that's
yeah,
Anti-heroes in there.
yeah,
The biggest anti-hero of the freaking setting is fucking Morty. I mean, come on, I'm
you think
cussing
so?
you.
You think Morty?
Oh
That's
yeah,
fair.
the way I do him.
Okay.
He's not. I never play him as a good guy. He's a neutral guy wanting balance. So if he's got to kick a bag full of kittens into the river to do that, he does it.
We've had balanceers. I don't know how to pronounce that all the time. And the number one one I can think of all time is the freaking crazy druid in the middle of Vespi. Right, right, Tim. I must preserve the balance. He's standing there. He's just attacking everyone because there's good and evil there. He don't know who to go after, so he goes after everyone.
It's a target-rich environment.
Fair is fair.
Yes, fair is fair. And then when creeping doom comes and you fail and you fall into it, you're in a bit of trouble. So, but all right. And please you can give us your own suggestions or your own ideas. I'm going to do a lot of campaign ones for me, right? And Tim will probably have some for him, and we could do some for published source. Let's just go round table this. Let's go with one of the biggest ones to start off in my campaign, who is published source. How's that sound? She is one of the bad, and I guess I made her out to be worse than she actually is in the Slavers book, but she isn't evilly aligned, and and that's Alita Norbalos right out of
You
Harvey.
making somebody worse than they're supposed to be? Oh, weird.
Yes, and once again, a great Wayne Reynolds. I mean, all the artwork in Slavers is wonderful. So
She doesn't look evil.
She doesn't look evil. She looks kind of
Yeah, there's no skulls.
This
or
is
nothing
not
on
Hollywood. They don't need
Right.
to look evil.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is like real life.
That's
You
Snively
can't tell
Whiplash
from
evil.
the looks what they're like.
So
Yeah.
she's a judge. She's in line to become despotrix of Hardby, and she uses underhanded means to. First of all, she hates GREYHAWK with a passion. So, what's her solution to get GREYHAWK out of the Hardby influence? What would someone who's not all there do?
Poison Greyhawk's water supply.
No, bring the slavers in.
Or that.
Yes.
You got to outsource it.
Yes.
Yes.
So she
But then
allows
there's culpable deniability when you do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bring the Earth Dragon cult and the slavers involved to tie them up with GREYHAWK. What could go wrong with doing that, right? So now this is
divide, distract, get them preoccupied.
Yeah, no, it's either, but it's actually the it's actually the Earth Dragon cultist that she yeah, that's all right. Hey, cool, Amy. It's good to see you. So
Yeah.
this is the woman who defeated. Oh wow, that's low. Whoops. Hold on. Thank you, Amy. Good to see you too. 46 months, awesome. I really appreciate it. Okay, this is the woman who actually ends up getting the anti-hero of Hardby, and I got a miniature pick for him. Right? and he ends up getting his assassinated, his head cut off, put on a pike in divers, and that's Michael Baton, right? The priest of Zilchus, and they go at war in an entire series of adventures.
He's going to get raised. It's all right.
He's not raised. He got killed. He has now been spotted on a ghost ship. He's a revenant now.
Even better.
It's even better. Tim doesn't like that.
Why? I didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, well, you kind of did. You were complicit in all this, Tim. You brought your band onto the beach.
They all dead.
Yeah. You killed your band for no reason other than...
No, Jay, you did. You are just cruel to the red shirts. You are just unnecessarily violent.
You brought them into the middle of
innocent bystanders.
Yeah.
Innocent bystanders.
Mm-hmm.
Jay just doesn't like brass. He's more of a strings and percussion kind of guy.
Yes, exactly. But that was fun. That was a good time. I knew exactly what was coming. The red shirts. Oh, by the way, Tim, when we had the guy who did Hardby on a couple of weeks ago, he actually did the hard. We talked about the Charlie's Angels. He had a kick out of that. You know how your character was dating one and the sister didn't like it, so she had her disappear. Yeah. He loved it. So
yeah. Well, you know what? She's got to watch out for her little brother.
Yeah, right.
He doesn't make good decisions, and she's a terrible person, luring him off with her lurid ways.
Yeah, Tim, that's very flowers in the attic of you to do that too. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, she's not trying to compete with it, but she just wants to make sure, his career's not derailed by some slut.
So just eliminate her. Take her out. That's good. Yeah,
what he doesn't know won't hurt him.
Yes, exactly. So you can see what I have to deal with here for 44 years, which is...
I won't do that again because Jay abuses that and then makes trouble for me afterwards. So,
well, if you kill someone and then have her body...
You can do it.
You're right. You didn't physically do it. Yes.
Yeah, well, you embellished it to like implicate her. So I was like...
It was fun. That's the thing. You do something, you're gonna have. There's a consequence for it. So, Curtis just Discorded me. He's on the way from Costco. That's nice to know. So I appreciate that.
Did he ask if you needed anything?
Yeah. Well, although he's not going to ship it from San Francisco. So, but yeah, time flies.
Welcome to Costco. Exactly. I love you.
Yeah. So there you go. I lead it off with one right out of published source who's been a mainstay in my campaign for a long time. It's kind of quiet now that Michael Baton's gone. The other adventure groups are not really causing trouble now. Oh, by the way, we've agreed we're finally going to do the Carlos adventure with Slippery Keta in it. That series in August. So.
The one in the cliffside stronghold.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, the one that he wrote up. I forget what it's called. I have it in the pile over there. It's already up.
He always assigns good tactics for him, so it's like
he does. He does. Ouch. He has good stuff. Hey, Michael, see, look, even Michael Zudrak says you reap what you sow, Tim.
Wait, what did he say?
You reap what you sow. So, Michael, you going to get in Tim's game at Page? All right. So I'll let someone else go here after Alita. That started it off. Hey, so Curtis, by the way, darling, you mentioned the Idiocracy. Curtis did get his law degree at Costco, just like in the movie.
I know. That's what. Did you hear me? I said, "Welcome to Costco. I love you."
Yeah, exactly.
Same movie.
That was great. That's Dax Shepard, wasn't it? I think he's the one that got his. Yeah, it was in that one.
I hate to admit it. I have never seen that movie. I know.
You see it
it's
now.
On my list.
This is modern day. This is going on modern day stuff right
Dude,
now.
You will, if you see it, you're going to be shocked at how true so many trends are. It's actually very depressing.
Yeah.
Oh well, then I'm not going to watch.
No, it's comical. It's very.
I'll go watch my cartoons and be happy.
Yeah. Watch the D&D cartoons over and over, right?
Hell yeah, I got 2 box sets of that.
It is, darling, isn't it? So, all right, who wants to go next and throw us out a feud even between characters or groups or an anti-hero or a villain?
I got one.
Go for
it. Okay, so here, let me scratch him off of my list here. So, And since you went with one that was in your campaign, I'll use somebody that I've used that I think is a highly underused villain. Is not really the big bad guy, but he works for like the big bad guy that you should never really encounter. So like his boss is I use, right? And everybody likes Omni and all that different stuff. I think Jumper is probably one of the most underutilized bad guys you could use.
Yeah, he's a little nutty too.
Yeah, and he's an 18th level illusionist for crying out loud, right?
Let me see if I have a
so it's like
I
think of all the cool stuff that you can
Or
have.
is he?
Right? So it basically he was when I ran Return to the Bandit Kingdoms, he was pretty much like one of the main foils was Jumper. Because I had him coming in and I can't remember the guy's name. Where's our Bandit Kingdoms expert Casey when we need him? I can't remember the guy's name who IU's puts in charge down there. But essentially, Jumper kept coming in because the players were making him look like an idiot to fix situations, and he caught the players twice using his illusions on them because they're fifth edition players and they don't bother to look for illusions.
Yeah, well, illusions are difficult. This is oh my god.
See, it's not just me.
That's an actual picture. Yeah, that's an actual picture of Jumper from Dungeon Meister on DeviantArt. He has a whole bunch of them. So there you go. Yeah, he's got that crazy look about him. So
yeah, he's slightly off kilter, but I mean, come on, think about it. In IU's hierarchy, you kind of got to be, and he's powerful. You know,
absolutely
illusionist. That's so I think he's definitely somebody that you could have, and he's depending on the level that you're running, but he's a great guy because he's like the field agent that I use sends places to get stuff done. Things weren't working out, and it's like that's when they send in these guys, the Boneheart, right? So go do this, go do that. Jumper's great. He's probably one of my favorite when it comes out of those guys.
I actually, I like Null just a little bit better because he's like the little shrimpy weakling, acne scarred kid who's like just gone total cack evil. It's really disturbing.
Is that the assassin one?
No, he's the mage. He's the mage. Yeah, he's the mage who experiments with the zombies explode and all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, but that's cool.
The original drone.
The original drone. There you go.
That's a good one though. That's a real good one.
But he's definitely a great behind the scenes. You can have him be the big bad, right? He's 18th level. He could be the big bad. He could be running the show for whatever the levels are, and you got to be high level before you would even like tangle with him.
Doesn't he run the asylum place? Which one does that? One of them created an amusement park.
I don't think Jumper's the amusement park guy. No, but he might be. I mean, it's been so long since I ran that one. And
for whose amusement?
Obviously his own.
Yeah, it talks about an eyes evil.
I think Jumper's the guy who's in charge of the like you said, the insane asylum / prison. I think Jumper.
Right.
Maybe he's not. I don't know because I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's okay.
I don't remember. I think he's a free agent more than anything. I think he's the guy that IU sends in. There's him and then that other priest in the Greater Boneheart. And I forget his name.
Panchasek.
Those are like his heavy hitters, right?
Yeah. So let's wait real quick. I have a miniature for him because we've used him multiple times. Yeah. So we actually have a Panchasek mini. There we go. So Panchasek appears early on in my campaign on stream, like one of the first 5 adventures I ever did, and it was events at David Gradavis's wedding. That's how far back we go. I mean, this is going back like 200 plus adventures, and he was running and with the undead master, the grave master, who had the zombie army that would reform every day. He was actually there observing, overseeing, and then he gets away. Of course, he's not staying there to die. So, but that's Panchasek, and that's his miniature. So yeah, yep. So it's good, and that's of course a Bill paint job there. an old one. So another one. Very cool. All right, Anna or Tim?
I want to chime in just a little bit when we talked about I use henchmen, and I use the evil as a resource, meaning I think Carl Sargent did a great job of creating a whole menagerie of IUCN henchmen. And one of the aspects I want to kind of emphasize a little bit, meaning how many layers of henchmen do you need, so to speak? That's the and my suggestion is that you need at least one layer of henchmen per tier of character levels, so to speak. So if you want to run a campaign against IUs and you have first level characters, you need at least 4 levels of henchmen between IUs and whoever they meet, so to speak. And at least probably I would probably put 5 layers of henchmen. Yeah, because that way you can have so they as they advance up, when they reach like 4th level, that's when they can maybe encounter the second tier of henchmen, so to speak. Meaning they're in a little village and there are some thugs there who are secretly working for IU, smuggling things or kidnapping people or whatever it is, something going on, so to speak. Those are the first one they encounter, and then they have someone who's providing aid and directions and all of that for these thugs. That's the second tier of henchmen, so to speak. And the characters realize that, oh, we not only need to take out the local thugs, we need to make sure we get that creature that comes and helps them, or the person, or whatever that is, so to speak. And then you can add another tier on top, can be the ones that instead of giving directions, they are the ones that help out with logistics and stuff like that, that provide stuff and they handle stashes and stuff like that. So they don't necessarily need to be individually more powerful just because they move up the hierarchy, but they work for different levels, and each level can have different roles and stuff. So that way you can untake it, and then you can have once you reach higher level, then you have regional commanders and stuff like that. That's when you get into the assistants of the jumpers and the Kermans, mindbenders, and stuff like that.
That's the one I was thinking
exactly.
That's him right there with the turban on.
Yeah, meaning you get the assistants to them, to the top ones, so to speak, and then you get them who they are the ones to give orders to the ones who give orders to the one that goes out and orders the thugs, so to speak. So and then you can have various other people. You have the magic specialists there. You have the ones that are the bodyguards of these people and stuff like that. So you can have different roles. So once they get close to a henchman, one of these henchmen, and get to them, then they should realize that henchman has a whole network of people that make sure that one is alive, so to speak. And so you can kind of it's like a big net of stuff that is interconnected.
And Anna, would you because they're so chaotic, they can jump the tiers, right? The guy at the top.
Oh yeah,
you know what? I want to go down and see what those dudes are doing.
Exactly,
I want to screw with some new recruits.
Exactly, and the thing is, they are so competitive that they will eat. If they can get away with it, they will definitely kill someone else in the network if they can step up. Stuff. That's how vacancies appear. Either the enemies kill them, or they're killed by their own.
Yeah.
Yeah. So meaning these are completely ruthless people. So it's like business competition, but there's no rules whatsoever, so to speak. There's no rules, and money is not the goal. Power is the goal. Money is one of they will use any tool available, and and power is the only game in town that is really worth it. They will bribe, kill, steal, cheat, whatever, and they will do it to each other as well. That means that they are all bribable.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're all chaotic evil for the most part.
Exactly. You can bribe them all, so to speak. And the only time they will not take a bribe is when they think that someone is watching them, because their own boss will go around testing his own staff for being bribed, so they know that if they take the bribe, they will kill. So they need to verify that you're not sent by their boss, because they're more scared of him than you're scared of you, so to speak. So
I can't help but think of the real big bad guy in Time Bandits.
That's fun.
Yeah,
there you go.
I think in this book there's 100 NPCs listed.
Yeah,
you know,
there's an absolute ton. Yeah,
yeah,
and so
they. Oh, sorry.
the cleric Kerman Mindbender was the guy that I had in mind, but it's not him. The highest level in the Greater Boneheart is Althea.
Oh yes,
you would
Althea
have
and
to
Holger
think
are the same.
Yeah,
she's a 20th level.
Oh yeah,
that's all right. That's
I have her
so
so powerful that even I used to get scared of her at times.
Well, here's
so,
here's the thing.
She's 18th.
She's probably the most loyal one out of the bunch, though, because she's a priestess of Ayus.
Well, she's only loyal
like
because
channeling his. Yeah, she needs him because
exactly.
he's the one empowering her.
Exactly, she's loyal simply because she might be the heir to the empire. That's the only thing. She's loyal as long as she needs Ayus.
Right,
someone to blame, and
now
yeah.
When she finds some other evil god that wants her, well, that's.
No, I think she's so high up that then ambition is all, so to speak. So Ayus interdependence, meaning Ayus need her to manage things, and she needs Ayus to get the power. But as soon as she's so powerful that she can do things her own, that will be the end of Ayus, unless he has someone else too. So there is always, and that's another thing, a trait with these kind of dictatorial leaders. They always have double networks. They will never trust. They don't have only one network of thugs or villains or armies or whatever. They always have two, usually three. They have two open ones, meaning they need to come that for several reasons. First is that if one is disloyal, the other one, you use the other one to kill them, so to speak. So
you have the SS.
Exactly. You have multiple ones, meaning Hitler, he had Wehrmacht, or the standard military. You had the SS, and then you had others, so to speak. And you have make one of them secret, that the other two doesn't know about the third or the fourth. And it's also a recruitment. It's a way to verify that they can actually do the job, so to speak. So it's a way of, it's a competence check, so to speak.
So you're giving, all right, I'm going to argue here. I think you're giving them way too much credit.
Yeah, they're chaotic evil. They suck.
Yeah.
They're going to fall apart. They can conquer. They can't rule anything. They're going to fall apart. They get bored.
But that's at low level. That's at low level. As soon as they move up, they are kind of, that's when they are the survivors, the one that are so, and they are not survivors often by luck. And there's a couple of examples.
Vane messes up 20 times.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I ends up only killing him in 2008 in Expeditions of Runes of GREYHAWK.
But it's like all these people that they mess up constantly. But the thing is that the only reason they are ahead is the other ones mess up slightly more.
But I think you're Tim and I agree, and this is just a minor argument. You're applying lawful evilness to chaotic evil. No. Yes, Tim and I.
Order.
It's a disagreement.
Yes, it's a disagreement.
Yeah. They're chaotic. They're going to pursue their pleasure, their hedonism, their narcissism. They're going to pursue all these things,
they change,
and they're never going to be organized about it because they get bored. I'm bored of this. I'm going to go do this.
But
this is what I want.
Yeah.
And they're just going to just lay waste. They can't control anything, and they're just going to murder people, whatever. You can't sustain, and they're going to have to either keep expanding or they're just going to fall apart. And
the way that I ran Ayus and Ayus's empire was like such. They're hell on fire when it comes to conquering everything.
Yeah.
And then after they conquer, what they do is, because they don't want to be bothered with it, they get the locals that they didn't kill, say, all right, now you're running the show. You better do it right. And then they go kick somebody else's ass.
Yeah.
And then there's a rebellion. Then they got to come back and kick that ass.
But they're lazy.
When I talked about organizations, I didn't mean organizations in that way that they're organized. It's simply, they will simply say, you do this over there and you do that over there. And then they will simply say, well, next day they have the opposite. They go on a whim, so to speak. The lawful evils are the ones that will set up rules and make dictates and have someone run it for decades. And they will always blame the system. They don't take any...
Like the Scarlet Brotherhood.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why they're so
I would
efficient.
say the Ivids and the that runs the Hextorians and stuff. They run the lawful evil. They set up rules and they have the Medigia priesthoods and stuff run things. And when it goes hell, they go down and kill them because they blame them for it. So, and things go over decades and centuries. He rules by hours or afternoons or something like that. He can have one idea in the morning and then he yells at as his henchmen and and have a different idea in the afternoon because someone screwed up, and then he changed the whole ball game because he doesn't feel like it or something. So yeah, but there's another thing in I Use the Evil is that there's so many of these are so flawed and they kind of they fall between the chairs and they screw up and stuff, and they only get a second chance if they offer something useful, and there's so they have half their time they're trying to be useful to the boss, and the other half they're working against him. So it's
Okay.
that's why you can get into IUCN lands and stuff by bribing your way, and you can also go around threatening, bullying them because that's the language they understand. So you can
Yep.
so you can use a lot of, as adventurers, you can use a lot of unconventional methods, so to speak, to get around, and you can have a lot of fun doing that in adventures.
So why doesn't Tim give us one? It could be from your.
I just screwed up the discussion. So
No,
not
at
all.
No, just yeah, we're just.
Yeah.
Talk about bad guys.
So why don't I ask one of the victims of my bad guys to tell me what is the most memorable bad guy?
Well, Will's there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm here.
You're here. That's what I'm talking about. You. What's the most memorable bad guy?
Oh, come on! It's the freaking witch.
Shamira. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she was just.
So back in the old days, witches are so nasty. You all know from the original Dragon magazines. Not even the 106, the one before it, right? There's all their
the
stuff.
One with the pale art on the front cover.
All of them have no save on their things. None of them. So I'm actually venturing Gazumba, and Sir Gorbel, it was there and merged with the other guy or whatever too, and she brings out not one Juggernaut, Curtis, but 6.
Yeah.
6.
Efficiency.
You were in her lair that's prepared.
6 Juggernauts.
Big, and she's a high secret order witch.
I got it, yeah. And so we had to use some creative walls of force, but she had bodies. She had 12 bodies. So just like, body, dead. We'll come back another body, another body, another body. It was
yes,
crazy.
that was a trick I learned from the Dark Tower.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
She was magic jarred, so when she died, she just went to another one of her bodies, and just went back and came through. She also had a phase wall, so she could phase through the rock.
A well-prepared villain.
That's
right. And she also had mentally controlled walls of force that she could activate in an area. So it was an area, So she was a problem.
What
I ended a campaign at college with her.
Yeah. But no, that's not me.
That's right.
So with Tim, I will say one of my favorite villains of all is the Overlord himself in his campaign.
He's a villain?
Yeah, oh yeah, come on.
He's a benevolent dictator.
Yeah, right. he slaughters his brother right in front of all of us because he went back into the harem and he was
told not to go back in there.
Like I didn't need to, yeah. So
he'd still be alive if he'd just listened.
Yeah.
There's rules.
But it's like at the beginning of the original movie Papillon where they come out and they just chop the guy's head off in front of everyone. That's what he did. He did the same thing. Everyone's in there. All the new nobles are in there, and he just kills his.
Yeah. Before we do this, I have some old business to take care of.
Yeah. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I wanted to set the stage correctly, and so did he.
Yeah.
Look, I don't make the rules. I had to do what he would do, right? That's what he would do.
So, all of you out there, knowing that someone is like a villain, but in a way that their power is so great that if you tangle with them, you're done. That's a weird feeling in a D&D game. It's right. It's kind of a helpless feeling. And I've got
here's the thing, though. How many of us DMs have had that, and then had your silly parties just pretend like it's nothing, and then get upset when they?
Oh well, that's it.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
It developed over time, and the lessons were learned early before it became too bad.
Yeah.
At lower level, then.
Yeah, but that was cool.
I just remember when I was doing when we were getting ready to do the. You guys were getting awarded your noble titles from the villain giving you titles. I mean, he doesn't sound like a villain to me. And we were introducing some of the new players to the core group, and Jay was like, "Please,
don't do anything stupid.
Don't do anything stupid."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do something stupid, I'm not here to protect you.
I don't see the Overlord as a villain as much as the sort of thing of there's a really dangerous mountain, and if you climb the mountain, you could fall to your death, you could get killed by it. It's something threatening in there, but it's not coming to get you necessarily, right? And maybe there might be some boulders that fall off the mountain if you shake the ground too hard for certain. So it's kind of more like an environmental threat that's so massive it dominates the area, and then if
like
you
a volcano,
like a volcano, and if you draw its attention, it could erupt.
Yeah.
And luckily, he's very busy with lots of other problems. So
that's a good one.
I've had fun developing the Overlord.
Oh yeah, I wish we played more. I wish we played that game more.
Well,
that game.
What about the end of the month?
Yeah, well, remember is end of June.
Yeah, what about that?
Oh yeah, after I'm back from vacation. Yeah, we can talk about that. 29th would work great.
Yep.
So cool. All right, so let me do another one here, and then we'll keep on round tabling this. Campaign wise, I'm going to go back to another old one out of Hardby that I don't think many of you know. Only if you were here originally, like the Naz and a bunch of people who were here at the very, very beginning. So I have a woman, Shannon Maynham. So the 5 houses, the 6 houses of. I'm looking for the depiction. Now I will say this artwork, I don't own this rights to this artwork, but this is the character I use. So. One of those, everyone thought she was kidnapped and, was a, damsel in distress. Well, it turns out that she's actually was bored with her life in Hardby and became a pirate, and her nickname is the Knuckle Paler because when she wants to hurt you, she puts your hand up and doesn't pull a Clancy Brown like in Starship Troopers, right? Right through the hand with a sword, right?
With a knife,
yeah, she'll put it through your knuckles. Yeah, which is even worse. Hear the cracking of the bone and stuff. So she's called the Knuckle Paler, and that's.
She use a hammer.
No, she'll throw a sharp instrument right there, a sword or one of those things. Yeah.
That'll cause arthritis.
Well,
yeah.
So I'd love to get back to doing with her. She kind of escaped. They captured her. This is early, within once again the first 5 to 10 adventures we ever did online during streaming, and then. Her mother got her out of jail, and then she disappeared. So rumor has it she is pirating south of Blue now. She's not in the Woolly Bay. She's south, out in that area, and she does no affiliation. Well, she hates the slavers too, so she's on her own. So one of those independent pirates. So dual class human, by the way. Mage and then Corsair, or you could say fighter, but the Corsair is a subclass of bandit I have. So. There's a good one. I guess you could say maybe you could turn her into an anti-hero if you so choose. So, but
that's chopping people's fingers off is definitely
not fingers. No, just putting the dagger right through the knuckle.
They're useless at that point.
They'll fall off.
Yeah,
the gangrene and rot. They'll break and fall off.
Yeah, well, that's
it depends how far you are from the.
The tendon runs through there, so if you sever it all, their hands are going to they'll be stuck with that finger that sticks straight up.
Yeah,
offending
everybody.
I equate her to Breaking Bad, having the name Heisenberg, and that just brings fear into everyone. So that's what she wants. She doesn't want to be known as a.
Uh-oh.
She doesn't want to be known as a demure, name with a Maynham house name and Hardby. She wants to be known as someone you don't mess with.
You said? Did you say demure?
Yeah. She's she's 5'3".
Demure is kind of like modest.
Well, you shouldn't want to be known. Okay, well, that's what she was. She was brought up in a proper house and all, and just got bored.
She's a lady.
Was a lady. Now became a pirate.
So she's very polite when she's
18, Jeff. She's got like 17 charisma too. People go the wrong direction sometimes in life, and they just what do you
very
do?
True.
There's a lot of sociopaths out there. So,
to say the least.
Discreet, that's what I mean. But you don't want that. She wants to know that if you come across her pirate ship and mess with her, that's what's going to happen to you. So she'll be back in the future, guaranteed. So.
Oh dear.
All right, someone else give me one. A villain or something.
A question.
Yeah, please.
How often in your adventures and stuff do you have people that jump from being, I would say, quest givers, assistants, or on the good side, and then jump to be villains? And how often do you
so good
screw it over? Meaning, and how do you motivate it, so to speak? Do you need to have a reason, or can it just be that's part of the plot, so to speak, and it becomes fun? And how do you? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You could do it both ways. I've done it, but I'm more of I do it off the cuff. And because as this happens to every DM that's out there, you're running something and you'll have a particular NPC that's a nobody, that something happens to them.
Good to see you.
And then they become somebody because of it, right?
Yep.
And so I love doing that, and I love that I'll take them and I'll turn them into some sort of NPC that is reoccurring. They're usually either neutral or enemies, because it's just more fun for me that way.
I'll tell you what Jay does.
Watch, I'll
tell you what Jay does. Jay has a player character, and then that player doesn't play as much anymore, and he'll take that player character, turn them, and have them backstab you in the back, right in the middle of a crisis moment. Laugh about it. They talk smack, but they'll all talk smack the same way, no matter what character.
So, which character are you talking about?
Well, there's the who's the first chaotic neutral one that I hated
Leon
so much?
Michael.
Yeah. That's the first one.
How about this one? Right, watch this. You think you're tough? I'll show you tough.
I don't remember who that was.
Come on, Redbeard, bounty hunter. You hated him. You put him in jail.
And then he got away, right?
Well, he served his time. He had 9 months.
Okay.
Listed.
Who put him in jail? Was that Galad?
Galad.
Paladin.
Yeah.
Bringing him to justice.
Don't you remember that? You guys captured him. You captured him because he fumbled or something.
There were so many times I was so enraged at the
wait.
guy, I can't remember.
So Lisden is a just thorn in the side character. He'll just sit there. He'll give advice when he wants to, but he said he would go around and he would sneak up and knock people out and then just disappear, just because he thought it was funny. So they captured him because he fumbled one time, and the whole party wanted to just kill him, but Tim wouldn't. His paladin said, "No, we're going to let the law take care of him." You don't remember this, Tim? Now
I do remember that.
Yeah, exactly.
It was by a stream. It was by a stream or river or something.
Yeah, so there you go. That was before, that was like in 1988 or 89 that happened.
Yeah, and he's like, because we weren't really that far out in the wilds. If we were out in the wilds and there was no jail nearby, we might do a summary court.
Took him to Altamira. He did his 9 months and he got out.
He would have been executed if we were out in the wilds.
I've had an example where I took one that was originally a villain that was there to kind of thwart the party and stuff. This is in a real Devon campaign, but the characters, they were smart. They bribed him and then they treated him well, and he realized that, damn, it's much smarter if I work for these and then work for the one. So he tested and gave some info about his boss, and the characters went there and used it to kill him off. And then he was like, damn, I'm off the hook. So he realized that. So then he became good and in that sense towards the party. But I had him as he was simply just, I would say, conveniently whatever alignment he needed for the day, so to speak. He was a survivor. So then he started working for the party and so on. And then he realized that now it's time that I can start manipulating him again. So then he became a villain again because he wanted more out of the deal, so to speak. So he became difficult and hard to started pushing a hard bargain for things. And the players were like, now he's an asshole again. We need to support, and they started thwarting against him and stuff. So it went full circle, and it was part of it turned out fun. In that case, it was fun because then it made him annoying as hell, and then he managed to flee because someone else kind of ratted the party out and said, "Oh, they're coming for you now." So then he managed to flee. So he's still out there somewhere. So yeah.
There's nothing wrong at all with doing that.
I had an NPC. Basically, we'll go back to Return to the Bandit Kingdom. So when they're infiltrating into all these different areas that are controlled by Iusians and stuff, one of their contacts was this half orc, and I can hear the groans already. So this 5th edition, he was a half orc bard. Okay, bard, a glamour bard.
Tim's face.
He played percussion, right?
He played percussion. He dressed like Elvis. All right, so he was a flashy guy, but he was a half orc, so he could get them into a lot of these humanoid camps and different things, and so forth. The party and one particular member of the party treated him so poorly that he became a villain. Like they like insult him. The one wizard would cast levitate on himself, and then he forced him to carry the rope so that he would drag him along. He would have to swim across the river pulling him, and they were just really rotten. And then of course, what did he do? He turned them in. And he became right.
They deserved it. Did you kill all the characters?
Well, they almost all died at the end.
You should.
I think that is important. That's an important thing. Meaning, always change the story and the behavior of the villain depending on how the characters and the party treats him, so to speak. So what the characters do in the game should have consequences, good or bad. Yep. Meaning they might swing some IUCN lieutenant to realize that it's better to take the bribe and jump ship, so to speak, just to flee or even help the party, so to speak, or vice versa. If they're someone good, if they treat them bad and use them, that is an incentive for that NPC to turn on the party and become way worse than you intended him to be.
I like to make the villains are not necessarily like rivals till death. And when they become like the friends eventually, Jay, the Aunt Jemima.
I know. That was she was an assassin, and she was an little old lady. Just no racial overtones to that at all.
Right. Well, I named her after my great aunt from Ireland.
Yep. That was her name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jemima. Yeah. And she knitted.
Yeah.
So she'd always be somewhere sitting there knitting, and then the knitting needles were like +4 adamantium.
Yeah, and she would
assassinate him with.
Yeah, the knitting needle assassin. I love that.
Was she knitting? Maybe that was some sort of magic. She stored magic in.
It was just a distraction to keep people unsuspecting.
Yeah.
And did you use I'm trying to remember how she became a friend.
We made a deal with her one time because she needed something and we helped her.
Yeah. See.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to do that.
You got to do that sometimes.
So I got two for Tim and his campaign. We'll talk about, but I want Walt's on, and Walt brought up one. So it's barely in here. It may be mentioned in one line because I only had so many pages in the Free City of Altamira teaser. But we have a player character who is a villain now, a big-time villain, because he went from neutral good to a group absconded with him, put a helm of opposite alignment on him, and turned him into frickin' Hannibal Lecter. Nice. So he's known as the boogeyman of Altamira. So
he doesn't really eat him though, does he?
No, he doesn't. But he
keeps the streets clean.
Yeah. And that's why there's no squatters in Altamira, because he'll take people that are valueless to society.
Very bad place to be homeless.
yeah, exactly. And he'll put them in the it's almost like a Buffalo Bill pit that he has, but it's all stone lined, all real deep, and he'll just do death fog on them and watch what happens. I mean, it's really disturbing. So that's what they say. Sometimes in the middle of the night, you can hear screaming off in the distance, and no one knows where it's coming from. So yeah, fun stuff, right, Walt? You enjoy that? We did that to one of your characters. It's a hey, Greg, long-term plot arc. It's all about revenge. It's all about revenge on one character. So you'll get that in the Altamira book. So, but that's another interesting one. Walt brought it up in his own as his own character, and he's fine with that. It's a high level character, and sometimes people just go wrong. It's not their fault.
They have a bad day.
Yeah, it's the stress. It's the undealt with emotional trauma.
Falling Down is a great movie.
Oh yes,
it is. It is.
It's a fantastic.
It's got some really disturbing scenes in it too, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets kind of lucky. He's just sitting there on the phone, and the guy's shooting at, riddling with bullets, and but that's the way it works. It's kind of like in every Western.
It's hard to do that.
Yeah. They kill everyone else around him, but not him. Yeah, so definitely an interesting movie. It's kind of, I don't know, is it dated now? It holds up.
No, I think it's
I think it's as relevant today as it was when it was
probably
made.
more relevant today than when it was made. It was kind of a look into the future of issues. It's a society critique or something like that. It's
100%. Yeah.
Excellent. So, I'll do another public source one. And what's up, Curtis? Hey, and this one's one of my favorites of all time. One of Carlos's favorites of all time. We'll just touch on her real quick. A lot of female anti-heroes, or villains. And that's Marquesa, right? She is Dr. Mengele, right? Marquesa, and she's just a regular. She's gray elf and just does awful things. And you can go through Carlos's series of adventures post slave lords and slavers if you want to run stuff against her. But yeah, just a really vile, probably one of the most evil characters period in GREYHAWK.
Very.
Yeah, I can't
and not overly grand in the scope of reach, which makes more sense. You know what I mean? It's kind of like,
I prefer those villains.
Yeah,
I really do.
They're super villainous, but they're harder to find because they're not like this big massive thing. And so it's like, where are they operating? It's easier to hide them, easier for them to do their dark stuff without people noticing because they're not so overreaching.
That evil overlord gonna conquer everything villain is it's so cliched.
I love the behind. Yeah, I agree. I love the behind the scenes villains, and that's 100%. 100%.
She's just there for science.
Yeah. I get, you could say that for her own science
and education.
Oh my gosh.
She just wants to know the truth.
The truth of what?
She's finding her truth.
Yeah. She's an explorer in realities. Yeah.
Yeah, just creating mongrel men is kind of.
He was to eliminate uncertainties and stuff like that. So
yeah, vile. So but I agree with Will. I like the behind, like my organization, the Dark Brotherhood, is nothing like the Scarlet Brotherhood, right? Where I know they're behind the scenes Scarlet Brotherhood, but they're taking over whole countries and stuff. I can't have, I just don't want. I don't want something changing my GREYHAWK like this.
If they're taking over a country, how good can they be?
Well, yeah, I guess so. But that was all. Mike agrees with me on that with Sea Princess.
What to me, it's just say that means that you have to create worse ones, and meaning when they come and use methods like that, then you have Savener in United Kingdom of Elissa. He's a rising star in southeastern Flanders politics. And with the Scarlet Brotherhood take methods, that means that his methods have to be even more sinister and stuff. So when I read Scarlet Brotherhood methods, I realize, that works once. It's like cyber stuff. Once you burn once you executed and used your weapon, then that's it. Then you don't have that. It's hard to follow up, so to speak. So then I have the Savener. He's the one, and he recruited the characters for missions because he realized he needed people that didn't stink, so to speak. So had good credentials, so he could get to the Scarlet Brotherhoods. And when the characters realized, this fun, we have license to be murder hobo here, and then who the heck do we work for here, and so on. So and he was the one that had lavish parties and had a really good upfront, so to speak, meaning he treated people royally and so on, as long as they were useful. And he was the one that was not the chaotic evil, run-of-the-mill, changing your opinion every afternoon. He's way more lawful in that sense.
Right.
He knows how to run a legitimate country and then do things in the basement that needs to be done.
He was never turned into an animus either, right?
No, he's too smart for that.
Yeah,
I have him, but he also has a problem, and that's the interesting. Another thing that I think every villain needs Achilles heel, a flaw, something that holds them back, so to speak, a vulnerability. And in the case of Savener, he's super savvy. He is a top politician, top of his game. He's not that old, and he's really, really savvy and smart about it. But his problem is that he's financially and politically dependent on the House of Darman and the Silchus priests. And they hold him back.
Priests. Well, then he's
exactly.
got it.
Yeah, meaning they provide him with enormous amount of wealth and political influence and all of that, so to speak. But he needs to manage it well. And that means that small wars and tiny wars and a lot of backstabbing, that's perfectly fine as long as it's good for the finances. Major wars and stuff like that, no, that's bad for business. So don't get yourself tangled up that way. But as long as you keep it clean and keep the blood and the dirt somewhere else and so on, then the profits coming that the Darmans are. So that opens up, if you want to run a game that has a lot of skullduggery things in the background, lavish parties where someone get murdered or stuff like that, then that type of court drama and stuff like that, that's type of campaign. Exactly. He's a powerful, smart villain, so on, but he's not uber powerful, and his power is more like he can easily build connections, super charismatic, knows how to find the right people for the job and stuff like that, rather than personally powerful. He's not bad. He's like a 15th level rogue, so he's not incapable, and he's probably one of these that the workouts like a maniac. Think about today's billionaires that wants to be really fit and have like a little gym in the backside of their office and stuff like that. So he's that type of villain. Efficient and so on, and can be a really good friend, so to speak. But as long as you're loyal, so then useful.
Excellent one.
Yeah. So building these kind of dependencies somewhere you can hit them without having to do it directly, so to speak. You can strangle their supply of something or their trust in something, or they have to depend on someone or something or some. And that could be an organization, a religion. It could be a powerful monster like a dragon or something they have in the backyard that can come and save them. Slay that one, and then you can get to them, so to speak. And stuff.
That's a good analogy, Gargaman, American Psycho.
Yeah. So and that's also another way of thinking. How do you introduce powerful monsters like dragons, powerful undeads? You have the animals and stuff. Meaning, how much do you want them to plot? Are your dragons just beasts that sit in a mountain on a pile of gold, or are they the ones that spin big plots and build things and run whole nations and are the big powers and shakers and movers behind the scenes? And meaning, could they compete with IUs for doing things, or are they just monstrous beasts that kill things in order to steal their treasure?
I've never gone there that dragons are politically running behind the scenes or I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. Now, dragons are a different story, but I don't see. You can name a kingdom in GREYHAWK. It's not being run by a monster or dragon.
Yeah, they just blink their eye and it's different.
Yeah, but I don't see why it couldn't happen. But I'm just saying I don't know of like, can you see like a black dragon running Pernland, for example, behind or with the puppeteer pulling? I have several sea lances run by a dragon.
Green dragon. I can see a green dragon doing it.
Yeah.
It depends on the type of dragon. It depends on
work. When do they get to sleep? Well, everybody, they don't produce. It's much better to have a relationship that influences off to the side, and they do their thing. They're going to die. As long as we have this agreement, they bring me the food. They send people to entertain me.
I think, Anna, what you've done with Katarina is a little as an exception.
I think of it this way. It's like dragons are so big and powerful and so long-lived that they're going to get bored. And every once in a while they get bored and then they do something, and their boredom could last I'm going to do this little side project for
3 centuries or something.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then it's like, and then one day they're like, I'm done with that.
Yeah, and they also
and then they move on.
Yeah, and some dragons are also described as highly intelligent, which means that long-term planning, plot scheming and stuff. And meaning you have a creature that is immensely powerful, long-lived, very intelligent. That speaks to me plots. And it's also a way of gaining security and influence. Meaning, if you can gather and keep an army that guards your hoard or your treasure trove and stuff like that, or help you gain it and so on. So and some of them are probably super vain in that sense that they want things to show off. So and dragons want to be more powerful. They are status driven in that sense, that dragons always want to be more cooler than the other ones, so to speak. And that can be over a whole continent. Meaning, I have it that's the good dragons. They are hoarding things like they gold dragon want to say that, well, I have like 100,000 people who worship me and they love me and so on, and they will do anything for me and I will do anything for them. And they can kind of silver dragons the same way, meaning I have more friends than any other dragon, so to speak. I'm the coolest in that sense, and I have the biggest library, and I mean, I can field an army of 100,000 to protect me. They will be the top dragon in the world, so to speak. And then you have red dragons who simply have the biggest horde, and I can kill as many as possible. So yeah,
I think the intelligent ones too are going to have the best memories.
Yeah,
and they're gonna have more refined tastes too. They'll be like,
yeah,
I want you to send somebody to read me this literature and tell me what's the updated. And when they read it, I hear your classical Elvish, but your accent is all wrong.
Yeah,
I was there. I know you're not reading it right.
Yeah. And another thing that you get with long-lived creatures is that they will plot revenge in a different way. They will wait and go after your kids and so on and so forth in order to revenge you. They will wait 25 years until your kid and then wipe out the whole family around you, so to speak, and stuff like that, just to they will be vicious in ways that normal in more powerful ways and long-term ways, and they have long memories, and so don't thwart them, so to speak. If you steal a dragon egg, then your whole every
There you go, DMs. That's a campaign idea for you right there. The dragon,
feel like I would do that too.
The dragon is upset at somebody, one of your ancestors, for something they did, and they decided to wait. No, I'm going to wait until they have a couple of generations under their belt, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to take it out on all these people who have no idea why.
Exactly. Yep. That's So do stuff like that. Meaning, if you live 1,000 years, you can wait 50 years just to get 10 or 100 times better revenge, so to speak. And wait until the person is 90-year-old and can't defend himself or itself. That's when you get to them. So yeah.
And then he doesn't care about them and doesn't kill them, but just kills their family
in front of them.
And lets them live. Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
And wait until they're rich and gather so they can have more treasure to steal from them. So they build a hoard that way. So they let their enemies gather a lot and then steal it. I can even see a good dragon do that, waiting for some evil, as long as it steals somewhere else, and then take the stuff afterwards. So time is one of these metrics that you can play with in a campaign plot lines and stuff like that too.
I could see somebody, a good dragon, working through intermediaries, have the bad guys acquire tons of debt. And then they come in legally and just take their estates and take all their lands and just kick them out. And he didn't have to kill anyone because they're lawful good. But they're like,
he might even lend them the money to begin with and to get even more. So yep.
I know over time this interest will be unpayable.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. I can even see lawful evil dragons do that, so to speak, and in some sense, if they can get away with it. Yeah. Or others, and not only dragons, meaning other things are long-lived, like vampires, liches, undeads that are smart, kind of free-willed undead, like liches, vampires, and stuff like that. They also have agendas, plenty of time to implement it, and long memories. So yeah,
that's what I did in the Bone March campaign. There was a ancient crystal dragon that was up living in there.
Yep,
and it had the humanoids and like giants and stuff that were working for it, and it chased out all the other humanoids and giants from its territory down into the lowlands. It's like, get out of here, this is my place up here. Alone. So it unintentionally starting an invasion.
Yep. And then you can have monsters, instead of having long memory and live long, you can have the ones that are so short-sighted and like trolls, for instance, meaning they don't remember 5 minutes and it's gone. Meaning you can, I treat some of my trolls like they have Alzheimer's. They only like, this is interesting, and they're like, squirrel, oh, they will run over there instead. So they have
totally true.
Yeah, they just like like young trolls, like teenage trolls. They just go around and it's shiny or it's warm-blooded, and I go for it, so to speak.
They kill all the cattle and be like, 3 weeks later, they're like, "Where's all the meat?"
Yeah, exactly. And they would just go around killing and then be having over-digestion problems and just pass off and then so they can all be killed, so to speak, or something. They don't think about the consequences whatsoever. Give them too much food and they will eat until they almost die from it and become easy to kill or something. So meaning they would not think about. Yeah, exactly. They would not think about the consequences or anything. So they're dumb as can be, so to speak.
I just found it. I put the list because I did 12 dragons of GREYHAWK.
Whoops. Okay.
On the it was originally on the blog, and then it came over.
Oh, cool. You linked it. That's good. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's Shanaroth. That's the crystal dragon. That's the one from the campaign that I put in there. And basically what I did is they're all there's no chromatic dragons, because those are of the name dragons in GREYHAWK. They're all what? They're all the evil guys, right? For the most part. There's the silver or the GREYHAWK dragons, but that's about it. So I went through and it's like these are all good and neutral.
Oh, interesting.
Dragons.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
And the other thing is to introduce young versions of big monsters like dragons. You can say up north, you can have like, what if you have young white dragons? They might gang up in gangs just to terrorize the neighborhood or the countryside, because that's the they don't know how to hunt well and so on, and they're like, so they might be a super menace, and they're not super. That will be kind of a good encounter for like a 10th level party or something like that. 3 or 4 young ones, or 5 maybe even, something. Meaning they're not that difficult to kill individually, but they be a huge menace to everybody, and go out and find them. And so that will be, you can have fun groups of them. I had young trolls. They regenerated really quickly. They were super easy to hit, and they were easy to kill, but they came back almost very quickly because they regenerated twice as fast as the big ones. So they were a real nuisance, and a whole bunch. And they also weren't afraid of their own lives, because they probably died 50 times and come back again. So they thought they could do anything and had no frontal lobe whatsoever. They were dumber than the grown-up trolls.
We fought 6 dragons at once, right, Tim?
Wow, I've only had 2 dragons, I think.
6 characters flying 6 dragons.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was the 2-hour-long rounds.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
So, all right.
Wu-Tang Piglets, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang Piglets, because they kill off the competition too. Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly true. All right, I'm going to ask
Knights of the Eastern Sun.
That's right. That's before we even had anything in the. That's the only time I go on the right side of the map when Tim was DMing. All right.
Yeah. And Amy, that's a good one too. Yeah, that they think they're the good ones, and that, I think a lot of evil comes from, they think they're doing the right thing, so to speak. It comes out of necessity, so to speak.
True.
Tim, give me the 3 in Chronicle order leaders of the Dark Brotherhood.
What?
The 3 leaders of the Dark Brotherhood. Come
number
on.
1, number 2, and number 3.
Yeah, who's current and who are the 2 past ones? Oh my God, dude.
Who does number 2 work for?
Come on.
This is kind of a campaign.
I don't need to know the name. I just need to know where.
Yeah, you do. Come on. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. Popcorn.
This is like a test.
Popcorn.
I don't.
Macarash.
Was Macarash one of them?
Ah!
Oh, okay, I didn't know his little club, but I just knew him.
Second one.
It was personal. It was personal.
Second one was a gnome.
Oh, you're kidding me. That little crap.
J-Run campaign midterms here.
And then the third one.
What was the gnome's name? His name is escaping me.
Phuket.
I keep Phuket. There we go. I kept thinking my own gnome.
The Illusionist Assassin. What a mix that is.
And there were so many times I would drive home enraged because the guy got away. I mean, Jay would really make me so angry. I mean, the bad guy's getting away, and you just
That's a
wonder.
good game when you're angry afterwards. Then you run a good game.
I
Yeah.
hated
Imagine
that.
having mislead spells, improved invisibility, non-detections. How do you find the guy?
Yeah, it's just terrible.
It was awful. Lastly, this
the
is
last one.
Priestess of Leviathan, Holly.
Oh,
16th level. The Maiden of Pain.
she's terrible.
Mike Disney made up a great miniature for her, so we actually have a full great.
She's
full
too
miniature.
busy using vice grips on herself to be bothering anybody.
I like my villains to be conniving behind the scenes for the most part, not frontal assault. Now, back in the old day, Macross was very frontal assault, and then they said we can't do this anymore. So, yep.
That's why they always have henchmen, because they always need brutes and stuff. Meaning, a villainous organization or faction, they always need people on the front line in the trenches that do the dirty work. So you always need villains that do that, so to speak. And they will always, meaning the real powerful, they will invent them like Death Knights or whatever. And the lesser ones, they will recruit them and train them, or just compel them to do it, or like create zombies or skeletons or whatever, ghouls or whatever they need. So you need to have some sort of shock troops or front troops or people that can do the dirty works in the background. So yeah.
Are we? Oh, go ahead.
Let's do a duo villain for Tim. How about that? We have a dark elf female and a human male barbarian. A Tarava.
And Black Wolf.
And Black Wolf.
Just out to have some fun. I don't know why they're even on the villain scale.
Yeah, right. Both chaotic evil.
It's Irava and Black. Well, I don't know if Black Wolf might have been part of the crew when we made evil characters.
Yeah.
Ityrova was for sure.
Yep.
And she was posing as a cleric of Apollo, a good cleric of Apollo. And she was a cleric thief.
Dark elf.
And then aged her 200 years and made her a problem. She was a major problem for you guys in the city-state.
Yeah, city-state.
Oh, you eventually, because she was a problem for you in the Hill Giant, right?
So she actually, Tim had an NPC, still has him, Andrus Philandrus, no. Stone Giant throws a boulder, critical hit, triple damage. That's 9 to 90, right? So basically, there's nothing left of him. It's a fine red mist. We're going around in the dungeon. Someone got his eyeball, nailed it to a wall, and put a note on it. I got my eye on you. That's the kind of dumb stuff they did. Will, you ever have that villain that's just there to get a reaction out of the PCs? That's what they were.
That's all of them.
Well, yeah, some of them should be very annoying, so to speak.
Yeah, that's all they were.
Mm-hmm.
They actually were there. Ityrova and Black Wolf were there in my first Dark Hand adventure.
Right. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I remember those names.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they had been branded, so that the creature of had branded them, so they were stuck there. You freed them.
Yeah.
You freed them. Good job.
Of course.
Tim was very good. Is very good at
fellow barbarian. He needs his freedom, right?
Mixing up evil characters into the mix. And you don't know any better. You're very good with anti-paladins. In fact, I must say, I've learned how to play my anti-paladins based on your playing of anti-paladins in the city-state. Right? Because as Anna knows, I have the Daughters of Mastrine, another one of anti-paladin.
Great one. I like it. I stole that wholesale.
Well, thank you. Yeah, Lord, and we all know we all know Lord Mastrine is and probably from the Great Kingdom or something like that. And he's super high level, and he's right near Hardby. He has his own lands. He declares his own. He has cavaliers running out. So I said, let's take it one step further. He's been around a while. Do you remember? Does anyone remember the Bruce Lee movie before he died? Right?
Game of Death.
Not Game of Death. That one was done afterwards. Remember, that one was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar that had some footage. But Enter the Dragon, right? And the guy comes down and he has all these women and goes, "These are my daughters," and they're like assassins and stuff, right? So it's the same thing. Why don't you have a bunch of your daughters and you raise them to be these? So we don't know how many there are, but they've come across like 2 so far. Yeah.
And I see Lord Mistrain as lawful evil in that sense that you can strike a deal with him, and as long as it's useful for him, he will probably honor it, so to speak. And he's someone you can negotiate with. He will have devilish terms, but he definitely someone who can have some sort of diplomacy with the neighbors.
That's a good point.
Yeah, he doesn't go on a whim. He runs some sort of society there, so to speak. I mean, he hires people that can work for him and so on and so forth. So his morals are probably despicable, but his methods are at least understandable, reasonably predictable, and he wants the help of others, and he relies on he keeps a network of family and useful henchmen and stuff.
You're absolutely right. And in a previous adventure, I got 3 I got the Headhunters, I got Mistrain, and then I got the Pasquarel Cockatrice Riders. And there was there's that last in on the road where there was a big confrontation. They actually rescued a Cavalier of Mistrain who said, "I will go back and we will, we want a truce right now." And so there's currently a truce between them and Narwhal. And who knows how long that'll hold in my game? But you're dead on. Yeah, Iron Dragon was a great film. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to.
I'd like to see more guilds as far as being prominent in stories and this, because I think there would be more prominent societally. And I think I would like to see more magic schools where there'd be a lot more. Someone has a school, but it's it's connected politically and connected business. And so that creates a lot more feuds, because now there's competitions and it turns you into a villain just because that guy graduated from a different university. I hate those guys. And so,
that's funny you mentioned that.
We get people fighting now just because soccer teams are playing, So when I think that would be fun to see that occur.
So that's funny that you mentioned that, because here's our topic.
I'll need to do a plug for in Will's city. What's the? I don't want to say the wrong title. Ravensrook. He has a ton of guilds in there that you can.
Right.
Oh yes.
It's fantastic.
Doctor on up to fit the bill.
Wednesday
guilds
night
and street gangs. There's all kinds of bad guys.
Yeah. Very good.
Wizards, Labs, Circle of 8, and Schools of Magic. Just note, we're gonna have this discussion Wednesday night.
Yep. And Tim and Will, I think this ties into another axiom or saying that I think could be true at times. The enemy of my enemy is my friend,
Absolutely.
so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
And that is something that you can meaning you can have common grounds, so to speak. In my Shieldlands campaign, I have Glushnag the Mighty. He's a hobgoblin running the hobgoblins that I use shock troops in Shieldlands and so on. But he comes from Horn Society and he used to serve the hierarchs. And then after Ayus took over, so to speak, he served Ayus. But he's a different he's a hobgoblin. He's smart. He's lawful evil in that sense. But he's smart. He runs a well-drilled hobgoblin horde, so to speak. And he's a different type of leader. He doesn't go for personal wealth. He wants to be the best damn warrior possible. And everything they loot, he gives to his people under him, so to speak. So he wants to send the message: if you work for me, you'll be rewarded beyond anything, so to speak. So he treats all the people under him perfectly, so as well as possible. He tends to them at their every need, so to speak, and stuff, but he demands the most out of them, so to speak. And so he has a couple of thousand fiercely loyal hobgoblins that know that he's the best warlord that we can ever have, so to speak, and ask for. But he now realizes that Ayus doesn't pay him anymore, because Ayus is kind of in a bind. There is no easy picking. So Ayus is running out of bad cash flow, because all of a sudden there's no easy pickings. That the enemies have learned, the neighbors have learned to deal with him a bit. So he can, because all he used to pay his troops was paid by what they could loot, and then Ayus took his big share of it, and so he's not used to paying them. So now the Glushnak, he's realizing that the Horn Society might be better to work for than I use. So he's now plotting, and he wants to come back and retake his lands and stuff. So he realized that. So he struck a deal with Katarina and said, well, we stop hurting each other for a while. We can both save our troops, and I can go and deal with some of these assholes that comes from Ayus. So, and in order to prove it, he went around and killed a bunch of Ayusian priests just to prove it, and sent their heads to Katarina and say, well, see, I've done, this is my currency. Say, we should meet and talk. And so they had a hobby, and a couple of times they had a hobby of going around finding these pesky supervisors that Ayus sent all of a sudden. And then Glushnak, he sends back the message, oh, it's tough here by the front. There's so many clerics that goes under, and so on and so forth. So they're having fun, and so he's very deceiving. But Ayus is starting to realize that it might be something going on, so to speak. So Glushnak, he's playing a high game, but he also realized that he's playing for both sides in that. So he's a double agent in that sense. And all he wants is to go home in homeland and have a lot of good hobgoblin warriors under him, so to speak. And he wants peace in that sense, but he's willing to use any damn method possible to get it. He doesn't have high morals in that sense. He will do whatever in order to instill fear in the enemies and stuff. So in that sense, he doesn't love in that sense, but he's a very smart, shrewd politician and a good soldier. So he's someone you can strike a bargain with and probably get away with it as long as you're useful and stuff. So that was someone who wanted to be both sympathetic, terrible, and interesting in one go, a multifaceted enemy, so to speak, and someone you can strike a deal with. So they met him a couple of times. He has some big wargs that he's, and some warg riders and stuff too. So I tried to make something that was not the stereotypical villain, or not someone they can trust really, maybe, and someone who can bring ambiguity into it, and someone they can yeah. So you should, not all villains should be this way, and not all of them should be that. Meaning villains should have different. Some of them should be simple.
Hey,
meaning
Patrick.
if you have a powerful undead, for instance, they might just be the cookie cutter bad villain, just there to be killed. And others should be there to create plot twists and stuff.
I had it was pretty much along the same lines. The hobgoblins from the Horn Society.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have them join Ayus. I had them go over into the Bandit Kingdoms, and then hired themselves out, and were working for Dimri.
Yep.
Dimri is all like, we'll employ you.
Dimri's the evil Fultians, right? Is that the evil Fultians?
They're not evil. They have a different way. You have to understand the
misunderstood.
darkness.
Exactly.
So that you can know the brightness of the light.
Exactly. They're just doing what they need to do, and so on. Yeah. And Glushnak, he's now basically a mercenary, and the Horn Society who is around, so to speak, they pay them handsomely too. So he's now taking in the old faith, dark priests and stuff like that. So he's protecting old Flan culture and stuff. So all of a sudden, he's a new hero. Some of he's the worst villain ever, and so he's very ambiguous, and that's on purpose.
One group's hero is another group's villain.
Exactly, and he plays off that, so to speak, and he wants to be ambiguous because he wants to hedge his bets, so to speak. He's like a politician. He keeps the doors open and kind of talks to a lot of them and so on, and he kills and maims where he needs to and so on. So yeah. So, and he has a spear that is returning, that is really magical. That does, yeah.
So I want to say something in response in chat here. So Clater3733, I'm guessing Tim uses Rangers Tactics game as a form of Recon Marine. I get it. Mm-hmm. So I really abuse his one PC finder. You saw what happened to him last week, right?
No, I'm sure you did something to him.
He got dominated by a Naga, and those him and the entire party, the first part of the group, and they had to fight them. Yeah, so I do all sorts of bad things to him though, but yeah, Tim's really good with the Ranger stuff. Absolutely, yeah. So sometimes I like making a villain up that people don't expect. This villain exists in 2 worlds. Page 12 of the Altamira book, you can actually read about this character.
Oh.
And if you want to watch what this character did at at GaryCon, he actually kidnapped Josh Pop's character, Carl Spacklerleaf. I have a nice, good picture of him, and that is the leader of the bandit group, the Sealed Fates. And his name is just Meth, M-E-T-H-E. Look, he's got a gem for a nose because his nose was cut off. So, in the Altamira site, the Sealed Fates are a group of bandits that have letter of marque from the prince to try and harass all Altamira and the surrounding areas because of Dunyalag Deep Home. And we can talk, that's a little different than in GREYHAWK. But in GREYHAWK, they have letter of marque from the Prince of Ulick himself because they still see. Remember, the Prince of Ulick sees the order as an interloper. So yeah, it's fun. Having a dwarf as a bad guy is fun because it's not in the norm. So dwarves fighting dwarves is a good thing. Yeah,
I agree.
Absolutely. Change it up a little bit here and there. Don't make it always a hobgoblin or ogre or whatever.
I am a fan of my recent villains, Jay, that aren't villains anymore because you guys are friends.
And who's that?
You know, Illegabilas, Raw Dogries.
Yeah. They're friends because of
Mama's boy.
Because I ate flesh.
Mama's boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're friends now. They were going to be the big villain, but now you're buddies.
I did something as a lawful neutral character. I did something that I thought was right instead of fighting. I actually stopped. I DM'd a villain named Ivan the Unfair, especially intelligent, kept bodyguards with a small chest. Yeah, bribing is always a good thing. Yeah, you like that, Kurt? You got to have more dwarf on dwarf family blood. You should. I agree. Dwarves don't like it. Certain dwarves don't like other clan dwarves.
And dwarves don't usually ask nor give quarter. They're not nice.
Yeah.
They're very final.
Amy, just the teaser book is out from GaryCon. Did you not get that? If you didn't get it, you can download it for free on Cannibal's site. So while we're talking, I'll bring up the link for that. So, all right. All right. Someone else want to bring up another a villain or an anti-hero? I haven't heard about some anti-heroes as much.
The only anti-hero I had was, and I already mentioned him in joking, was of course Mordenkainen. I love Mordenkainen as an anti-hero. Well, not anti-hero.
There you go.
I guess he is an anti-hero.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would say he's very kind of ambiguous and
because he can do good and he can do bad.
And he has difficulties and he's kind of hard to understand. And
it just depends on, where you sit at the time when he needs to turn that dial one way or the other.
So are we saying anti-heroes as in there's somebody who's just wants to kill the characters, or are we saying anti-heroes as in characters who don't fit the mold?
Here's the number one anti-hero in my campaign currently. It's Fritz Winchester because of what Curtis has done with him. Everyone, everyone hates him. My players, they despise him. But the Curtis and the audience love him now because he's done some of these crazy, things, and he gets away with it. He's character neutral, kind of stupid. Tim, that's an anti-hero for you. I thought Michael Baton was a perfect anti-hero. Also, Gilthanus Markham is another anti-hero.
I saw Michael Baton as a villain.
Okay, well that's fine.
I had to actually go to Wikipedia and read about anti-heroes because I was like, what's the difference between an anti-hero and a villain? And then I realized that I grew up so much with Swedish Scandinavian movies and stuff like that because our heroes aren't as clear cut. American movies are simple. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And it's more like we have kind of heroes occasionally, but most of them are complicated characters, and it's all about the psychodrama. And meaning everyone who watched Ingmar Bergman movies, the Seventh Sail, and you have the devil in, and so on. Meaning there are no heroes in those movies. So that's I grew up from a culture where a lot of things are very ambiguous in stories like that. It's all about the morals and stuff like that. It's not about, you have a hero that solves everything and so on. No, we don't believe in that for some reason. At least people sit and do broody, horrible stories and stuff like that.
I think what it is that the anti-hero in American culture now has become so mainstream that it's just a hero, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's like back in the day, there was definitely the white hat, black hat, do what you're gonna do. But now everybody wants the guy who bends the rules and shoots the villain because he knows he won't get put away for the fair trial. Now that's the anti-hero, and that's become mainstream.
I'm going to go to one that everyone's going to bust my balls on, okay? Todd Stashwick's character in 12 Monkeys.
Your good friend Todd?
He's good. Yeah, his first season, the character's a villain. The rest of the seasons, he turns into the anti-hero. So right? No, I'm dead serious. You can watch it.
Todd plays.
He's not the anti-hero.
What's that?
He becomes kind of a heroic figure.
But
after he learned, but I'd say he's the anti-hero initially.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And also Todd Stashwick plays these ambiguous characters really well.
Oh, absolutely.
He's great.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's really good.
Wise on choosing his roles.
Yeah, definitely. But that's an example in a TV show. So, yeah, I don't see. Amy, I stay away from Igwolf and Tasha. It's so messed up and convoluted. I'm going to tell you this right now. You're going to love this. So we have Bill is working on for a new group of firsts. We're going to do third, fourth quarter because I want to bring some new low levels in Altamira. But he's working on actually having one that has tie-ins to Baba Yaga and Igwolf. That will be cool. So, and we're going to base it off of Roger Moore's adventure, not all the other stuff. We're going to go with and then tie Carlos's adventures in. So just so you're aware.
I was just thinking anti-heroes. I have a whole game with nothing but anti-heroes.
Yeah.
Reverse dungeon.
Yeah, baby.
Yep.
But that's more. You gotta admit that anti-hero is got a lot of comedy aspect to it. It is funny.
Well, it's fun, but anti-heroes can be fun.
Thanks, Sir Patrick.
I think like Chronicles of Riddick. Riddick is an anti-hero.
Absolutely, 100%. That's a real good one. That's a real good one.
So. A lot of characters are anti-heroes as far as how they live and how they play. Like if you have a thief character and you're running a thieves guild, you're kind of not a hero.
Yeah,
correct.
No, that's
depending on what you're running. Depending on what your organization.
That's a real good one.
How you're doing it.
Yeah.
New Riddick movie next year.
Yeah, supposedly.
Really?
Along with the next season of Peacemaker, which I loved in 2025. So yeah. He's an anti-hero too.
I'll be back in just a minute.
Yeah, no problem. Break. So, let's see. We got plenty of time here. Let's see. Campaign villains or anti-heroes? Any specifics you all want to discuss?
I've got two that.
Go for it.
Okay, so I've got two that are underused. And then I've got one that is my absolute favorite, and I will use again and again and again because I can. So, which would you prefer?
Do both.
Okay, so I'll start off with the first one because I like him so much, and I want to make sure I get him in. And Jay, we kind of mentioned this a little bit. I forget which show it was, not too recently. I was talking about him in the chat, and you brought up one of the reasons why that I like him so much. I love Caraptus.
Okay, yeah, so do I.
I like him so much. I'm using it. He's one of the main villains in my campaign now.
And I'll tell you how I used him in Return to the Bandit Kingdoms, because this is how I use him for the most part. So essentially, there are a bunch of evil gnomes that still exist on our plane. Right?
Yeah.
That Caraptus had, they were in his place, and these evil gnomes are all like, well, shit, the boss is gone. We need a new boss. And they do what? They go and they make them, right? So
absolutely.
There's like, it's the ultimate foil. It's like, I don't care if the PCs get them. And I have all kinds of different types of Caraptuses because like there is the gnome Caraptus, and then there's the old lady Caraptus, because the gnomes are just like, well, we're just going to make a bunch of these. They learned how to copy the transfer scrolls, and essentially they're all about one of these Caraptuses is going to stick.
Right.
And so like there's Craftuses that compete against each other, and they all think they're the real genuine McCoy, and they're all trying to finish. And in the Return to the Bandit Kingdoms, essentially there were multiple Craftuses going around, and they were trying to finish what Craftus was doing when he disappeared. Because I had the original Craftus, he left this plane. He went to another plane to do. It was the Realm of Shadows is where I had him go. He was learning stuff, and so they ended up meeting him in the end. But you always have Craftus. It's like, you could just have like, there's a box of scrolls that were sold to some antiquities collector.
It's like
and
the
he opens up, it's like, we got another Craftus.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the Return Adventure is got that. And,
yes.
We have multiple characters when we ran that. We had 3 of the spellcasters thought that they were Craftus at one point at the end of that.
Awesome.
But remember, at the end of that adventure, he can become a child. So I have a 19-year-old Craftus now.
Yeah.
That's
I just hand waved that all out. I'm all about those scrolls.
That's cool.
I'm all about the evil gnomes making more Craftuses, because they want, it's like one of these guys is going to stick and we'll have the boss back.
Yeah.
That's their idea.
It's a smart thing.
And the gnomes are like their own cult, right? Yeah. And they're all about doing whatever they need to do for the boss, even though he's not maybe around, or the one that's around isn't the one they really want, and they're trying to keep up with the boss's intentions, which was, building dungeons, putting items in there to bring the heroes in to kill them, to get their stuff.
And it still tickles their practical Joker side.
Right. And it's like,
evil gnomes are fun.
I love the fact that you can do so much with that, and it can lead to so many different areas. and it doesn't matter. They kill that Craftus, that's fine. We got another one in the pipe somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can change them. That's the other thing. I change them. It's like this one was a gnome. Okay, that's great. This one over here is a half-orc that doesn't have the intelligence to be able to cast the spells that he thinks he can cast. It's like you can have all of these different types with them. I love those guys. I love it so much.
I would let him do it and then roll on the fumble table every time.
Exactly.
The magic fumble table.
Exactly. And then I'll pick. So of the 2, I'll go with the obvious one first. So,
okay.
This is a villain that I think is highly underrated. I think basically he needs to have a definite upgrade. I think he should be a much bigger player on the stage, or he just needs to be swept away and somebody needs to take his place, and that's Turash Mac. Turash Mac should be a major GREYHAWK player. And if he's not, then what you need to do is you need to show who's really keeping that.
Yeah, I was going to say, sometimes I've heard he doesn't exist. Okay, someone invented him. Who's the real brain behind the operation?
Yeah,
there,
so it's like, I look at it in 2 ways. It's like either A, you change him into the badass he should be, or if he's just a figurehead, then I go with the Cult of the Dragon. And I say that the Cult of the Dragon are using him as a figurehead.
Yes. So who is the dragon, so to speak? Then you can introduce.
It's the dragon himself.
Yeah, meaning what type of dragon is he?
Wait, Cult of the Dragon and Earth Dragon are 2 different things.
Well, I mean, the Earth Dragon.
Okay, they might be the same. They just have 2. Some people like it. Some people are easily fooled this way.
Different denominations.
One of them's the Forgotten Realms.
Exactly. Different dominations.
Not the Forgotten Realms one. I'm talking about.
It's like the conspiracy. Some people believe this conspiracy. Some people believe that
That's
conspiracy.
Or
if you're
sects,
an evil dragon and you want to, you launch whatever conspiracies that you can get.
I prefer the Earth Dragon and Kellen Lecter's slavers over Turash Mac. I minimized Turash Mac in my campaign.
Because
you haven't got rid of him?
It's just
send a party there to kill him and your problem solved.
Why wouldn't he? He's such a pushover.
Yeah,
right? That's the
where
problem.
do you go to kill him? It's like he's just,
yeah. But like the Earth Dragon, it wants that makes complete sense why it would have combined and it is trying to stabilize that area. It's its home. That's its area. That's what
but the thing is that you might have something like that going on and sometimes there need to be nothing there. Meaning not every rumor or legend or myth or whatever can be true. Sometimes you need to have some of these that aren't true. I'm not saying that it's not true in my campaign, but sometimes some of these things should just be conspiracy theories. There's a bunch of people that live in a village or a town or an area that believes in some crap and it's not true, so to speak. And they go around voodoo-y whatever and so on or something. So not everything should be true. So,
I agree with that, but the reason I bring it up is because the Palmarge and the humanoid threat is a real thing as far as the canon.
Oh yeah.
So you got to give a driving force to it that's reasonable. Turashmak, as they have him right now, is not reasonable at all.
No, either, like I said, either underutilized or he should be something else, and he's just a front or figurehead or just someone made him up and say, oh, he's the secret behind the throne or the secret master or puppet master.
Yeah. Now I like both. I like both ways.
Yeah,
I tend to go to just basically making Turashmak the man. And then just hand waving all this silliness around him and go, he's just really a badass. Really
I haven't been there yet, so I haven't made up my mind. I have a list of these options, and we'll see once I get there. Then well, I have to make up my mind and what it is.
I kind of messed around in that area with, as you recall, with bringing in the Crovis aspect that Joe Block did too. I kind of throw that in there that he's close to coming back because so there's a lot you can do in that area. And once again, it just depends on your campaign style and we have a thwart to the Palmarge. They just, for some reason, there was no thwart to the Palmarge to live in GREYHAWK, right? That border, we can just leave that wide open, right? So yeah.
Now the other villain that I think is highly, well, it's not even, it's like not used at all. Is and could be a great villain to have as a big boss that's coming up and doing their own things is Drogatha, right? The undead.
Oh, Drogatha. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a real good one.
She's my main villain in my campaign. She's the bigger than I used in some ways. Yeah.
That's a real good one.
This would be how I would introduce Dragonborn to GREYHAWK. It is a creation of Drogatha.
Oh, that was done in 3rd edition.
Was that how they did it? Okay.
It's Bahamut. Bahamut Hieronymus creates them. It's ultimate. If you want to be the ultimate paladin for Hieronymus Bahamut, then you become a Dragonborn. Yeah. So they're not Dragonborn 5e, but they are a different version of it. You reborn and you get like dragon-like powers in some sense, and eventually you can become a dragon.
I could see that. Yeah. I was sort of looking at this as
it's a prestige class in 3rd edition. Yeah.
Sort of as like stealing from Dragonlance, as in what they did in Dragonlance to make the Draconians. What did they do? They stole the eggs of the good dragons and then through magic had those turn into
a great
all
idea.
Kinds of Draconians.
I don't want to steal from Dragonlance though.
So, but no, I would not take that particular thing. But what I would take would be something along the lines. That the Dragonborn are basically some sort of like hybrid mutation thing that Drogatha does. Yeah. And let's say Drogatha has these other evil dragons working for her, right? And goes, give me your eggs. And then, or something like that, and then, or whatever,
Yeah, I have her as
undead dragon armies, and
I have her as a meaning Lich has become demi-lich. She is now a dragon demi-lich. Or draconic demi-lich. So she's more dangerous than she used to be in that sense. And I have it as a female because the female dragons are like raptors. They are the biggest and nastiest ones. So so I have it that, and she attracts, and simply because her bones are the most powerful ones. So she attracts all the other dragons to come because they want to lay their eggs there and create that, like that gains. So they are now fighting over who to dominate the bones and stuff. And Drogatha make sure that she can attract the most powerful red dragons in this case. so to be there. So now it's Morgensthaler that I took from the Living Greyhawk campaign, the Bandit Kingdoms campaign. He's now the top one there, so to speak. So he's Dragotha's #1 henchman. But there are others vying for it. So he needs to show his colors because they're female red dragons who wants to come and see if he's worthy enough for them to lay their eggs in his nest, so to speak. In his lair, so they will dare to, and that was one I had an earlier one. They fought they had a dragon lair with the eggs in it, and that was the male dragon who guarded the eggs, and they killed it and thought, oh, now we got it. Then the female dragon whose eggs it was came and was the real one, and she was really pissed. So that was after the adventure.
But there's so many good like dragon themed stuff that you
can do so many things, but you can go in so many different directions. Meaning what you did is awesome. I mean, you create an undead dragon army, so to speak, with you can have and so there's so many different ways you can go with this. So
it's a good one. You know, on a high end level. We're not talking about like
I'm waiting with Dragotha is in the wings. With my campaign, now they're like 6th, 7th level. When they reach 15th level, that's when I can unleash Dragotha fully, so to speak. But I did. She's already testing them out. She took them on a dream, so to speak, and that's how psionics works in my rules. So they can get to you when you sleep, so to speak, and bring you stuff. So then it took like 2 sessions or 3, almost. I think it was on the 3rd session when they figured out that it was just a spell, and they made a save and they were brought back to reality. So that was a lot of fun. That was Dragotha starting to kind of probe around a little bit. So
I would use it as a foil to Ayus because there's one thing that, like, same reason I don't like Return from the Ashes, right? I like the older Greyhawk because it was left up to the DM, but everything on the brink of about to happen, and then it's up to the DM to do it. You know, From the Ashes pushed it over and changed too much stuff, you know, but if you like starting there, you know, Dragotha could be all like, whatever.
First, I had that Dragotha was there before Ayus, so she's been around longer than Ayus. And then Ayus realized that, she's on my doorstep. But then he realized that, and Dragotha was like, we can cooperate. And then Ayus was, that could be useful. And then Ayus now realized that he has no control over her, so to speak. So she does what she wants, and he's starting to send things to deal with her, and those things have a tendency of not coming back. So he's more like, damn, this is kind of difficult. So and then he said to Glushnak, you need to go on expedition. And Glushnak was like, no. He was like, you need to give me 5 priests and send them to help me in this. And then he murdered the priest and say, well, they never came back. So he's kind of ruthless, and so Ayus is now realizing that Dragotha is becoming a problem, but he doesn't know what to deal with it because he doesn't want to send one of his own aspects to deal with it because that's risky and difficult. And
what's the green dragon of the Vespi?
I have it as Vesvi. There's one up there that is impossible to. That the Velvet Empire. You mean up from Living Greyhawk in the north?
Yeah, the one that they have in there. So basically, I always thought it's all like
Anna's campaign.
They keep messing with the.
Where's that in the Vespi?
In the north. It's in the Western Vespi.
Northern part, the Living Greyhawk had one that was. Hang on a second. She was called the Velvet Empire up there, and it's a Living Greyhawk thing. I don't like it much. Her name is Ofoy Verdanuri something. It's impossible to pronounce it. Yeah, and they call it the Velvet Empire. Is her or his? I forgot what gender it's on that dragon, but I think it's a big green.
All right, let's get off dragons for a while. How's that?
Good. Yeah,
awesome.
I was getting a nosebleed from this high altitude bad guy stuff.
Yeah.
What
you need to have the little local villains.
Hey, I like it so that on a level you can have your villains from 1st to 9th level. I mean, that's where I see it, and I love a recurring villain. So I'm going to ask Tim. Come up, discuss a villain in your campaign or one in mine that you'd like to talk about. How's that? So as we are starting to wind down here, Blue Box. Good to see you there, Rory. Hope you had a great game. Rory, good to see you. I really appreciate it. Tim always loves, me messing with him, so I love doing it too. What do you think? Any others? Or you did?
Well, I like the again with that whole villain becoming a non-villain. The Macrash story is one of my
That's
favorites.
true, a redemption story.
Yeah.
Because and once again, corruption can occur anyways. You can like my knuckle paler just was bored with life, but he actually had a weapon that turned him evil and started slaying elves.
So he was evil and whatever because he was being dominated, or was kind of like a helm of opposite alignment or something.
It was a weapon. It was a weapon that turned his alignment. Yeah.
And so eventually
from Connecticut to lawful evil.
Yeah,
that's a bad switch. From Connecticut, I guess from any good to evil's bad too. So yeah, we do have a giveaway blue box. So stick around. Exclamation point drawing. And then all ironies of it was he was cleansed off and became kind of like a reclusive good guy, and then got killed. Got killed off. By the way, there was
you killed them off.
I always kill off. I like killing. I haven't killed off a lot of people, but I'm going to kill a lot of people off in July, and we'll talk about that again soon. Oh boy, I'm going to kill a whole bunch of characters.
D&D villains are just GA's villains are just like comic book heroes and villains. They're only dead for a little bit of time.
I'm not Ari Salvatore here. I don't bring back everyone.
Not everybody, but only the cool ones.
There are some that once. Well, look, I'll say there's opportunities to bring back the dead, because I did some things in the back I regretted, like a couple of Tim's characters. Right, I let Galahad come back. Right.
Yeah,
I like Galahad. Also Gridley.
Well, Gridley's sort of a reincarnation, right?
That's true. So,
yeah. Gridley, you kill them for no reason.
That's right. If you go, everyone's played the Assassin's Knot.
He was just going to go talk to somebody.
Yes.
That's not how you do business. You don't kill people you don't know. I mean, come on.
That's bad for business.
Well, the Assassins of Restonford do.
Yeah, well, that's why they're a little peon.
That's group. Right. So it's always good. It's always good to have that. So to me, Fritz Winchester is like the terrible. John. So I have a habit, Curtis, and we all probably do. I don't know, maybe one way or another. We all have a habit of taking a character that we know is going to drive your player characters crazy, and then they become an anachronism. Is that the right word? They become like an anachronism of themselves, right? Yeah. So that's what Fritz is, and just it took another level for Fritz because of you taking him to GaryCon and everything that happened to him at GaryCon, and he's also in Horror of the Hools. He's actually a character you can play in Horror of the Hools. And then he came, it's just, so the legend has grown, and that drives a couple of my players even crazy. Fritz is a foil. Fritz is just, he's a
yes, he's there to be annoying, yeah.
He is, absolutely. That's all it is. And I do that with a lot of characters. That's what Lisden was. Lisden was that annoying character. Fonka and Hottie Peak was that annoying character back in the early days, too.
A villain group, individual that is the mongrels of the putrid tongue, because you have them also.
Yeah, absolutely. The mongrels, a villain group. Here we go.
But they could be friendly too.
Of course. Bring over some baked goods.
Look, there's their shield. That's actually the mongrels of putrid tongue. There you go. They're gonna what they do.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
There you go. That's the mongrels of the putrid tongue. There we go. We've seen it 100 times, but it's worth every one.
It never gets old.
It never gets old. It never gets old with Tim. So the Mongrels of Putrid Tongue are an organization that is a foil organization because not only do they rip your tongues out, they breed with orcs. They're trying to find the way to breed an orc with an elf, which is not allowed in the game.
Wasn't that how orcs were done originally, by torture them? But that was according to Tolkien.
That's Tolkien. Right. There's really no origin story that I can find, Anna, in GREYHAWK about how orcs came about.
Yeah. That's quite cool. You can come up with your own version for your own campaign, how you like it, so to speak.
They are the opposite of elves, though.
In the Roger E. Moore thing, it says that all the gods got together and they chose.
Oh, they took everything except,
and they cheated the orcs out of it, and then Grimace was
that's
all
the orc
like,
story, so they can. Yeah, so the orc gods can always go on the revenge.
I believe the orcs.
Yep.
I don't believe the stuck-up elves. I believe.
Well, they're they
So
cross.
Blue, they don't kill if they don't have to. They're going to take that captured person, rip their tongue out, and let them go.
And then they take their tongue and they nail it to their decorative shield. So the more tongues you have, the more prestige. And then their shaman will cast Animate Dead on it, so all the tongues undulate and move.
Yeah. So there you go. It's fun. But the penultimate thing is for the elves to figure out how to breed, the orcs to breed with elves. And there is a secret formula out there that I came up with, but it got lost. So they're still trying to find it.
That's right.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty ingenious. All right. So, hard to, Marquez is one of the,
should we talk about the secret that I had intended for the reverse dungeon?
Yeah, go for it.
I won't listen.
Yeah.
So the reverse dungeon is kind of like I didn't anchor it any time or specific place, but my intent was for it to be the birthplace of the mongrels.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
And so far it's working. I've got a couple weird things going on in the tribe. So I think we're enough on the way to build the legend of how it started.
Yeah, that's great.
It was right. You got an alligator. You got snake.
I was going to say, there's all kinds of weird stuff going on.
The boss was a bugbear who had a couple girlfriends, and now there's a hobgoblin. So it's
So and you don't take that wrong, but I love a Cloudra, but not. We've done this 100 times in arguing. Not the wishy-washy. I'm going to switch who I worship. That drives me crazy. So I just think it's bad writing. Along with Return to Temple of the Evil. Sorry, everyone, but it's bad writing.
Some things you don't go back.
No. There's some good return adventures, though. There are some real good ones. So the Pale are the greatest villains in the GREYHAWK. I think the Zilchus priests are the worst. Myself.
Oh, they are the worst?
Well, I mean, are they really lawful
That's
neutral?
Capitalism.
They're worse.
They're
worse
too
because
much.
you don't always have an excuse to kill them.
Oh, you mean they're frustrating? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I look at it this way: they're lawful neutral in the fact not so much that they're following the letter of the law, but they're lawful neutral because they use the law to their advantage.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
And they know how to do the loopholes.
Yeah, they're just creating value in the world. They're just creating value and give people opportunities, and they are just smart enough to make good use of all the opportunities they create. So
I get out of it on a technicality.
And if you've got enough money to get the laws changed, then the new laws
it's the law that must be good. Yeah.
So ruling through law is basically the way I look at it.
Yep. And but they're not super. They can be flexible with the law. We can always strike a good agreement on things, and we can always come to good terms on this and strike a deal.
Never kill somebody who could possibly pay you money. No.
If you can strike a deal and make profit from it, then they're useful. And I don't care what he does in his spare time, as long as it doesn't affect me or my profits. Yeah.
Like they would prefer forced labor, which is what? That's cheap labor. You don't
pay, cheap labor. As long as I don't. And if you have an objection with it, then go somewhere else or outbid me. Yeah.
I think everyone in my campaign is tainted because Michael Baton, when he originally was a player character, he wouldn't heal anyone unless they paid him. And
I love the Zilchus priest.
It went over badly. So
what you should do is you should just bill them later. That's the best way to do it. You bill them later.
Yeah, it is, because then you could back them up with debt, right?
And,
first, you just have them sign a contract to start.
Build them and have it come out of the party treasure.
Yeah.
Before
I can totally see that at the end when you're dividing it up. It's like, well, let's go over the book, shall we?
Yeah.
Yes. First, let's go ahead and see the support to the costs here.
Yep. I loved Zilchus priest so much that I had to invent one to bring into my Shieldlands campaign. She's Ubika Dorman, She's the Grand Counselor and Celestial Dame and Imperial Envoy of Alyssa. And she's Sevener's. Sevener realized that things happening out there, and that might be opportunities or enemies in the future or something. So he sends one of his martyrs just to figure out what's actually happening in what I use and the war against him and stuff. So he takes one of his shrewdest political advisors and smart diplomats, and that's Ubika Darman. And she has a title that is as long, so to speak, and pompous. And she's like a 35, 40-year-old lady that has she's ruthless, very smart, and will use almost any method in order to find out, and on a fact-finding mission to see what's going on, so to speak.
She's the clerk of Zilchus?
Yes, she's a clerk.
So she's also an accountant.
Oh yeah, well, she knows how to count money, yeah, and she also know how to order other people to count money, her money, and so on. So but she is on the fact fight, and she wants to see what's going on and see. There's always opportunities, and war is an opportunity, especially if we are not involved, but someone else is involved. There are profits to be made, and so on. So she's up there to figure things out, and she kind of recruited the characters a little bit and kind of poking around a bit and so
the
on.
real money's in consulting.
Yeah. So she exactly. She's one of these international consultants, meaning you're a leader in trouble. You have a war that's costly and so on. Well, we can offer credits, we can offer advice or whatever, and then so we have a whole realm.
We're here for you.
Exactly. Yes.
That's funny.
Yep. So it's funny because you can take real world experience from all the good deals or the bad deals and all the stuff you see, and then twist it one or two times and in a fantasy world, so to speak.
Oh man, I want to play a priest of Zilchus so bad right now.
No, you don't. Do you really?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it'll be so much.
Right.
So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make it even worse for you. We want to play one?
Yeah.
All right. Well, remember, I have to set a character up for you. You can play the great grandfather Michael Baton.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to heal you for a small fee.
Yeah. So because we're gonna have if we in part of we'll talk about that coming. Yeah. Oh my God, I can't imagine.
Venerian Vord, perfect.
Yeah, he's an anti-hero. Absolutely.
Yes.
Gary. Perfect one. Perfect one. He. You don't know if he's coming or going. You just don't know if you want to be around him or not. I mean, like, he has his good days and bad days.
He's the first character I've ever seen played that made me go, well, Ralishes isn't maybe that bad.
Yeah, right.
I used to think this is the stupidest thing ever. And then deity ever. It's the dumbest ever. And then I'm seeing him play. I'm like, well.
Exactly.
And he has converts.
I was the same way. Meaning he's like, who they came up with that? Yeah. And
it's not
Eric
the way
Mona,
it works.
Yeah. And then Eric Mona playing now. I think he's the coolest god in the GREYHAWK pantheon because Eric played him so well. It makes perfect sense now. It's awesome.
And we have no, like, at the end of that adventure, that's funny. Well, at the end of the adventure, guys just I don't know what even happened to the tongue this time. They took the tongue out of his mouth, and who knows? He cut it out, and then that
it doesn't matter.
No,
Tongues comes and they go.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But it was great, and Eric is just such a great player.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah. I can't believe I have to make a Michael Baton ancestor.
It had a contingency spell on it, and it teleported away.
Well, he teleported his body. His older brother, his younger brother actually, the Arnold Schwarzenegger brother, Cephilium. You got Venerium and Cephilium.
Did he talk like Arnold?
No, he looked like I'm trying to think of who he looked like.
Come on over here.
He looked like a buff Dave Navarro.
Oh, okay.
That's what he looked like. He was like 6'5".
Right.
Yeah. So
a lot of eyeliner.
Yeah.
Black nails.
So, what do we want to say in closing on this discussion?
Your villains are your most important thing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. If you want to take your time making your villains.
And feuds, villains don't necessarily need to be evil. They can just be your opponent. And it's great to have gray ones in there that have goals that bump into yours, but not across yours directly.
Yep.
And that way it creates complexities that make deals, chances to backstab, chances to they might betray you, you might betray them. You never know.
I mean, evil ones that have the same goal and same enemies you have.
Right.
Or good ones that don't, so to speak.
And I posted pictures of them too. I actually have the figure, Gary, and I forgot. Like, one of the first early ones, which I always say I regret I regret killing early on, was Lareth here, and that's the Lareth miniature.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
When I ran Hamlet for my son and a neighbor. And at the end, Lareth was trying to talk him out of it and making big deals. And I was trying to play him as charismatic and reasonable as possible. And they were like thinking, like, well, I almost had him. But they're like, no.
Yep. And in my campaign, I have Count Dalvier. He's an old Flan Lich. He's the worst scum ever, but he has the same enemies that the Shieldlanders have. I use and so on. So he's on the same side, but he's the worst scum ever, so to speak. Meaning he has the worst methods, and even his shield is what he's doing for
shield.
Yeah, and that shield is there to scare as a proof what he does to his enemies. And he doesn't spare. But on the other hand, he has the same enemies that the good guys have. So yeah.
So one last one before we, thanks for this. What do you call it, Will, for your synopsis here? But now I keep on remembering ones I forgot. Tim, how could we forget? And I've used this character, and I've used minions of this character in jousts. Another mage.
Yep.
The Lord Page himself.
Yeah.
Lord Page, yes.
Is he really a villain or just misunderstood?
Well, he's chaotic neutral 16th, minimum 16th level cavalier, so you can decide what he is.
He is whatever what does the 16th level chaotic neutral cavalier say? Whatever he wants.
Whatever he wants, yeah, absolutely. And that's high level in my campaign, so.
Yep.
Well, Tim's the one who's messed with him the most.
Yes, and I also married his wife.
His ex-wife, yes.
Yes,
you did.
Stole her away.
Yes, you did. You did. You absolutely did, and that was a fun.
Yes.
That was a fun.
And now he has 2 wonderful kids that are romping all over.
Yes, and killing his entire band.
Leading a wake of wounded.
That's right. They are those kids. Oh my god! I completely what the ironies of that.
They aren't. Yeah. So the 2 characters who were with the red shirts, they were the kids of. My characters.
Yeah, so his cat, and they got alternate identity names. So the son's name Hugo Stiglitz from frickin' Glorious Bastards. Owns Crystal Ion. Yeah, that's great. Crystal Ion's a sociopath.
Well, she's not the same anymore. She's kind of realized she was kind of young, little overreacted. She realizes she may have overreacted a little bit.
That's so funny.
And her brother is also, he's kind of pushed her a little distance, like, hey, I can make my own decisions. So she's got to respect.
So don't kill any more of my dates.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
No, that's true. That's true. All right. So synopsis, Tim and Anna on this discussion. It's a fun one.
Yeah, and meaning come up with interesting, multifaceted villains. Some of them should be simple. Some of them should be very complicated, and they should vary in motifs and methods, so to speak. Some of them are crazy, just go with whatever, and some of them are devious, long-term plotting, and so on. So yeah,
that's it.
So meaning work with motifs, reasons behind why they're villains, and also work with time. Some of them think in seconds, some of them think in centuries. And work with that. Think about the different dimensions, so to speak, of and also methods. Some of them works very direct personally. They need to interact personally with whatever towards them. Others want to act with intermediaries, but still on a personal level. Some of them want to build organizations, change the rules of the system and stuff like that. They don't want to get their hands dirty or any of that stuff. They want, if we can change the system. They are political manipulators rather than the thugs that do things in the basement, so to speak. So
the bureaucrat that's taken a rational or just
and
irrational dislike to the
And some of them are fully knowing what I'm doing is so on, but others say, "Oh, I'm doing it for good," meaning they see it as a necessity and stuff. So if you ask them, they would never.
They're just causing problems. We got to watch out.
Yeah. So the motifs and some of them should be on the character side, so to speak, but have whatever despicable morals they have or methods, so to speak, and but can be still on the character side and vice versa. So yeah. That makes for interesting campaigns. But on the other hand, if you have younger players, if you have new players that haven't played that long and so on, then you need to tone down half of what I said, so to speak. So don't run.
Keep it basic.
Yeah, exactly.
Black hat, white hat.
Yeah. So then you keep it basic. So this is very much because we've touched on some really bad stuff here, but that's something if you want to have a campaign where you have a lot of villains do villainy things, then that touch a lot of horrible things that we don't want to see in the real world and stuff. But on the other hand, games can be an outlet for things we don't want to see in the real world. We want to see them in our games.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Villains. I was just thinking. I wish I had mentioned it. Villains who they don't realize are villains until the end of the adventure are best villains. I was just thinking the adventure where they had to go bring this to my daughter, it'll set her free. And Jay's party brings this stuff and it was actually poison and she died on the spot. And then you find out it was
but that was hysterical.
That's devious and awesome.
That was shocking in the game, and that's on the live stream too. That's still on YouTube.
I saved a picture of Jay's face.
It was awesome though. I mean, I love that. I love those twists.
That's a good villain. It's like
yeah,
killing your own daughter.
But it wasn't his daughter. It wasn't her father.
Right.
He posed as her.
So very cool. And thank you all for watching, and hopefully you can create your own villains. And my number one recommendation is don't kill them off too quickly.
Yeah,
that's the thing, and it's tough to do.
If you can get away with it.
Yeah, it's tough to do.
You should write up a book, 101 Ways to Escape the Party.
Yeah, if it looks like they're going to close in on one of your favorite villains, and you know they're so angry they're going to kill them, have the villain turn themselves into some authority who will try them and then put them in jail for a short period of time.
Tim will tell you. He's told you earlier on in this discussion. There's easy ways of getting them away. Like I didn't want Civilium to be permanently killed. You guys killed him, but then the word of recall went off and they cut the tongue out, right? And that's easy enough. And then he has someone to pay to get his body back and all that stuff. You gotta have it that way. Gotta have recurring. It's good to have them. So thank you for the follow. Just note, I've been DMing myself for 46 years and got and 44 years of GREYHAWK. So killed a Klavder twice.
It was so good the first time.
There's clones everywhere running around.
How'd you know it was her?
That's another discussion for another day. But I think there are way too many clones running around in GREYHAWK. I just think there are. They're all over the place.
It's convenient when you write stories and some get killed.
Yeah.
It's convenient plot story point, so to speak, when you write up adventures or movies or whatever. So yeah,
sort of like Resurrection for the bad guys.
It could be a brainwashed person who's a lookalike who's been polymorphed into looking just like him.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of things. Who has the most clones at GREYHAWK? Oh, it was Tensor at one point.
Yeah, and Gary wrote himself. He had clones and stuff in the Gord books and Leda and stuff. Some of it is cool, but if used more than once or twice in a story, it becomes tedious and difficult.
Yeah, it does. And it becomes old news, so you want to use them very sparingly.
Yeah.
Becomes a trope.
Yeah.
And the Overlord has some simulacrums.
The simulacrums I'm fine with because they're not really sentient.
Yeah.
So.
And magic, that's one area of magic when it becomes difficult, and how do you deal with it? Another one is how do you do with mental control and compelling spells and stuff like that. When it's one thing if the characters use it on NPCs and monsters and stuff, that's fairly straightforward. But what do you do when use on players and they fail their save and they become? To me, it's something that I have a difficulty with. I don't want to remove player agency in that sense. And it can be boring if the players then you just turn them into too. Yeah.
That's why Anna, the group, the last 2 Thursdays came into town. It's Cult of, it's N1. It's the same theory in N1, Cult of the Reptile God, and they found the other, because we have such large adventuring groups. They found 5 of their adventuring, including Finder, that had been dominated by the Naga, and they had to fight their own. They had to figure out how to take out their own players without killing them. Their own party members. So that's the fun part of that.
I mean, you can do it if you do it right, so to speak, with the right players and so on. But it's tricky. It's one of these things that is, if you
it's
just
tough.
play it,
yeah,
exactly. It's tough. Yeah, exactly. So there are certain things that villains do that can be really difficult, and mind control compelling and stuff like that is one of these things that can very quickly derail and get boring and difficult, so to speak.
Well, a good villain, like the villain Jones, the villain that could just tell you what to do and everyone would have to do it.
Yeah.
Purple Man from Marvel Universe?
No, whatever. That's a great thing for them to have to navigate around, or Rod of Beguiling. And
Rod of Beguiling is no save. It's ridiculous.
Right. Well, but I mean, when you're controlling a kingdom, you're he's got to be aware of who he's trying to control. So, but it's a great challenge to try to work around and figure out how to get around it. No, and if a character party, let's say the party figures out how to steal it, that's one of those things that no authority is going to allow you to keep that. There's going to be some sort of time stop wizard, and then just to go and pluck it out of your arm before you control them or something.
And that's why a lot of you got to be really careful with old school items and stuff, because you really mess up a party. Yeah. So.
And sometimes things that are great suddenly aren't great anymore.
I have a whole list of banned stuff.
It'll be fun, but then after a while, it'll be kind of like
it's hard to change things.
The dopamine hits will stop, and you won't like it anymore.
Yeah, that's why you got to keep on reinventing.
Yeah, and not every campaign should be about the same type of. So meaning, in the next campaign, you need a different type of villain or something. So can. Yeah, they should be different themed or whatever. So if you have a lich undead, then don't have the same type of villain. Then run someone more like Savener in Karlstrand, for instance, that is very much alive and works very differently. Yeah.
I prefer other adventurers or other characters as villains a lot. I mean, just because they are as smart as the players themselves. Yeah. But hey, we can have some other ones. All right. So what a great discussion here. Why don't we go to some shout outs? Will, what's going on with you? You got anything new on your let's go and check it out here.
I do have.
Let me go to
can you see it?
Yeah.
Printed version. There's some coming to you, Jay.
So the printed, great. Thank you.
The printed version of the Spell Tone of the Council of 8 is live.
Well, that's gonna be a great giveaway item, man.
So let me I'll get that and put that in there.
Go to Gamescape.
So I'm doing that, and then of course I've still cranking away on the Patreon. The last of the the last of the here, I'll put the link to the
Dale, it's available. Just join the Patreon, right?
If you join the Patreon, you can get a PDF.
You get the PDF.
You can't get the printed version, but there's the drive-through for the printed version.
So I'll be giving them away very shortly.
Yeah.
As soon as I get them out, we'll do some giveaways for them. All right.
And so I'm doing that. I just finished up the Monks.
Nice.
The last one came out this week.
Awesome.
So the Rogues will be starting next.
That's funny.
And the first part of the Rogues is going to be the
Children of the Reaper.
Scarlet Brotherhood agent.
Oh man.
He won with 32% of the vote, man.
Oh man. It's painful.
So yeah, and
I didn't vote for him.
No.
Children of the Reaper was the last one of the monks. So it's basically a neural monk order.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I love it too. That's a really good one.
That's awesome.
So I'll be starting. So next week will be the first of the rogues, and we'll continue on from there. Artwork is being finished up for all of these. All the archetypes are going to be coming to print. They're going to be running through Kickstarter. So I'm going to run it through Kickstarter so that I can then hopefully use the funds to roll over to do the next one's art, so forth and so on. So we're starting off with the first one that was done, which is all the warlocks. So all the warlocks will be coming out. I'm hoping July at some point that the Kickstarter will go up, but I'm not 100%. Just waiting for the artwork to get finished and the edit to get finished, and then still have to do the layout. But these layouts will be pretty easy, so it's nothing really complicated to it. So doing that, and of course, I'm still working on the Lost City of the Soul, and that's it. Like I said, it's currently at almost 200 pages. I'm going to try and keep it at 200 in right around there. I don't want it to get much bigger than that. So
yeah, yeah.
Which I'm sure once my prolific prose are edited down, it'll shrink quite a bit. So, but yeah, so I'm just finishing that up. So that's basically that's it for right now. That's what I got going on.
Will the Lost City still be dual format also, or just 5e?
No, that actually Lost City of the Soul will be in OSR 5e. All my stuff's OSR 5e.
And Dale, I will be running parts of it, depending on size of it, during Virtual GreyHawk this year.
Yep.
It'll be on the table. I got a lot of the terrain in, or you're going to see some of that terrain coming up this Thursday night and Saturday. Some of it. So
everything that I've published after the Mermaid's Blessing is 5e OSR dual stat. So
very cool.
Because those are the most popular editions. So
well, thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate you coming on. Yeah, definitely.
Always fun.
Yeah. That was definitely a fun discussion.
Yep.
Really good. So Anna, what's going on with you?
I just posted, was it like a day ago or 2 days ago? I posted a look at the history of the Flannies and pre-migration history. So I started to speculate, and this is just a first draft, so it's not a final version. It's more like to test ideas. And that's normally something I don't post, but I have so many other things I do, so I thought it would be a good idea to post it out there to as an example of you have to start out somewhere to polish something over time, so to speak. So I did 6 spread maps going back. I didn't put an exact time on them. I'm more like step back in history. So you have the twin cataclysms, and then you have the age before then. So 6 maps going back some thousands of years, many thousands of years back, and start to see where do the origins, Beklunish and Sul and others, where do they actually come from, and what happened back that made the Flannies the way we have it in 576, so to speak, described in the folio and the box set. So there was my speculation of why we ended up where we did, so to speak, and the Olmens and stuff. And there's something I only included the various human the ethnicities or cultures and the elves. I skipped the dwarves because they seem to play an insignificant role. No dragons. The humanoids are only marginally there, but I explained why Geralt Enkdal is where it is, and some of the other stuff, why the Bone Marsh has a bunch of humanoids, but other areas don't. For instance, Furyundi wasn't full of it until Iusian times and stuff. So I tried to explain why Flannies ended up the way it did, so to speak. I think I did, from my campaign's perspective, I did a decent job. I can already see some flaws in it that I need to fix, and especially things I kind of skipped over that I need to include. And I want to dig into other things like dragons and humanoids, trolls, and others. Where do they come from, and how do they? So this was a first test. So and it gave me a kind of, it was the same thing with mapping the whole planet. It was something I dreaded to do originally, and once I started doing it, it became more and more fun. So this also became much more fun to do it. I was supposed to write just a little, like a sentence or two. I ended up writing a page on every map, so it was like 5 or 6 pages. So it was a good start, so to speak. I feel like it was a good start. I got a thing to kind of riff off, so to speak, and work from. So it's only available for my patrons yet, so to speak, because it's only a draft. So but if you want to look at it, pay me $1 and you can get to my web. It will come eventually once I polished it a little bit and stuff. All that information, of course, will be available to everybody down the line. I'm also working on the GIS is puttering along, and I also have another physical item I rarely do, but I showed it a little bit on my stream. I got a cool map the other day. I got the map of Quitwall. This one is about 5 by 5 feet. So yeah. So
Holy crap.
it's a huge map of Quitwall. So it has the
You're my hero, Anna.
yeah, so this is a
it's the one you
map.
did. Wow.
Yeah, so this
Holy
map
jeez.
came from Noble Dwarf. It's printed on canvas, and we'll see what I will do with it. I might bring it to Gamehole Con and display it there. And I'm also thinking about having a raffle for my top patrons and have a raffle who gets it. So and then send it to them. So we'll see. I haven't decided yet. It depends a little bit on what the price is and stuff. But this map very soon it will be available on Noble Dwarf, so you can get your own, so to speak, if you want to.
Nice.
How many of your maps are available on canvas on Noble Dwarf?
A lot of them, the big ones. The problem is that a lot of the current maps are too big to be printed. So when you print them, you can't read the text.
Yeah.
This one you can read the small print.
Yeah.
And this one I actually made to be printed on various media, so to speak. So yeah, so it's actually made to be printed. So yeah,
because I got super excited at the thought of a 5 by 5 GREYHAWK Flyness.
Yeah. I think the biggest
map.
one is
I was like, yeah,
55 by 44 inches or something like that, and there's a 24 by 36. I think this one was the 24 by 36 blown up even bigger, and they put it so and it looks gorgeous. So I'm really happy with it. So there will be more maps coming. So that was so we'll see. So there will be something with it, so to speak. And I also think depending on Noble Dwarf, if he will come to Gamehole Con and stuff, then I don't need to bring it. Then he will have versions of it there too. So it depends. We'll see. There will be something done with it, and it will be given away or donated to charity or raffled or something like that eventually. So I don't have rooms for my walls on it, so it definitely needs to have some higher purpose than just hang on my wall here. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
And now you got you'll have a stream Friday.
Yep, there will be a stream Friday again. Yep.
Awesome, fantastic. All right, Tim, what's going on? So we're shooting for Saturday the 29th, you said?
Yes.
Because your family's in France, correct?
Yes.
Are we doing morning or evening?
Morning. He's a morning guy.
I think morning would go over better.
Why?
So I don't get my ass kicked.
All right. I have operational flexibility.
I could probably get Coco in to play her and her priest.
Yeah, that'd be good.
All right, so we're gonna shoot. All right, so we're gonna shoot 4 because I come back the week before. So all right, 29th.
Yes.
City State. Yes.
You got to get your ass moving. You have orders.
Cool.
Yes, that is great. Perfect. All right, so good to hear. What else? Anything else exciting?
Well, I have an article in a fantasy in a gaming publication that's coming out, and
which one?
I'll let you know when I know what I'm allowed to say. That's
that's good.
I haven't done this a lot, but I was like, I don't think I know I'm not supposed to be the person to talk about it, but it's not anything. But I'd prefer not to be saying something that
that's right. I have a due date of June 14th for my article.
Before or whatever, so because I don't have any idea of how all that works.
Along with all the other crap going on.
But so, and I might
try
to. I'll be submitting for another one.
Great, that's great to hear.
So that was exciting for me personally. It's fun.
And you put your event in for Paige too, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So I have one game, and I haven't put the second one in yet, but I probably will.
Good. Beautiful. See how much fun we're gonna have there. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna rule that place.
We'll
Tim,
see.
thanks for coming on for a full 2 hours, man.
Oh yeah, it was
So
great.
how long are they gone for? How long is Kirsten and your son gone for?
It may be by 4 weeks. Yeah.
So wait, so you can play in the recreate. You can play in the historical game. July.
Yeah, my month of July is going to be a big.
Beautiful. All right.
It's going to be. I have operational.
Oh my gosh, that's great. All right. You love death.
I will say I shouldn't have done this, but somebody at work was like, "Hey, I'm doing a 75 hard, which is like
75 what?
75 days. You work out in the morning and you work out in the evening. You drink a gallon of water a day. You don't drink any alcohol, and whatever diet plan you have, you stick to it for 75 days straight." And I said yes. So
wow,
that's what's also going on. So
hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Man's gotta know his limitations.
That's right.
Wednesday night, Wizards not the Circle of 8 and Schools of Magic. So no more than Canaan, none of that crap. We're gonna talk about other Wizards and GREYHAWK. All right, sound good? This was another GREYHAWK Mike idea, so hopefully Mike will be on. Anyone seen Les? Is Les okay? I haven't seen Les in like weeks.
Exactly, yeah.
So let me know, Oblivion Seekers. Anyone seen Les? Let me know, because I actually reached out to him to be on a show about a week ago. He never not responds. So I just want to make sure he's okay. So it's been 2.5 months. Oh man, I got checked.
Yeah. That's not.
He ran his game last night. He's alive. Okay, Gary.
Okay, good.
All right,
good,
that's
good,
good to hear.
Oh, good.
That's good to hear. Yep. Just want to make sure.
Yep.
Gary, if you talk to him, just tell him that I'm reaching out to him. Okay. Thanks.
Yep.
All right. So good. Good to hear. Good to hear, Troy. Thank you so very much. All right. So this is what's happening. I'm running 3 straight adventures in a row. This Thursday, Saturday morning, and then next Thursday. All 1048, 149, 150, all linked into the Hateful Wars scenarios, but it's in the present. Okay, it's gonna be Easter egg foreshadowing. Hints of the Past, Part 1, Thursday night. Coco Bunny's gonna join the group. She's gonna be playing with the group because Bill, the Measure Crafter, is out. And then Part 2, Coco, Mike Disney, Korg, and Phantom NJ. So we'll have 2 dwarves, a half orc, and an elf in this, and that'll be fun.
Walk into a bar.
Yes. Walking into a bar. That's part 2, and then part 3 will be a week from Thursday. All right. We'll have Gabbin next Sunday, and that leads into this, which is just I'm reaching out to people. This is going to be a Herculean. Why I did this, I'm insane. 24-hour stream starting Friday night at 9 p.m. on July 12th. Okay. I'm going to run an adventure then. That'll probably run to 2, 3 in the morning. Then the next adventure will be 9 a.m., but I got to fill that with something else in the middle of the night, which is going to be crazy. And then another adventure at 3 p.m. finishing up. So we'll have 3 adventures, all Hateful Wars recreation scenarios. The death of Prince Tressaren is going to be 1. Okay. The destruction of Wolfmaster Keep is going to be another one, which is in my campaign. And then something like the siege at Hearthguard Tower, which I have in my campaign, which is on the low road map, will be another one.
I can be there.
Yeah, I know you. I know. So that's fantastic. So we'll have fun with that. And they're the first 4 that committed, so I put them on the banner to start. But right now I got the following people: Bones, Darling are probably in, Korg, Rob, Mike Disney, Curtis, Brett, Bird, Anna, Kurt, Chuck Cumbo. Yeah, I'm Will said he'd participate, and now I got to put Tim down. So, which Tim, we got to work on an ancestor character, at least one. So think of an ancestor character for someone. That should be easy for you. Ancestor of Galad or someone.
Ancestor of Leuven.
Oh God. You can do that. Yeah, he's gonna. Remember, the mortality rate's gonna be super high. I think in the Elven one, it's gonna be 100%. So we'll see. So it'll be fun. All right, let's do the giveaway. For what? For mine? If he doesn't show, he's in a lot of trouble. So I haven't made his character up yet, Troy. I got it from scratch. Portraits, you know me, I'm anal. Portraits and everything. I got to do like 20 characters.
What level?
7th, 8th. I don't want to do the super high level stuff. I want to do the mid high.
7th, 8th. That's pretty high.
A lot more fun.
It's a lot more fun at that level. 7th and 8th, I can really balance things out. Yeah. So, all right. You get your choice. You get your choice of a classic D&D reprint, which can include tonight Shokanth, the original glossography, the Marklands is here, Treasures, Scarlet Brotherhood, Den of Thieves, all sorts of stuff. You got your choice. You got a lot of stuff. All right. Let's see who wins. Then we're gonna raid into. Yeah, but there are no Balrogs around during the Hateful Wars, Glass. You don't have to worry about that. But there are going to be other bad things. Really bad. Here we go. Don't give me ideas. Oh, sorry. I got a couple ideas tonight as it was. All right, let me do this. And thanks for all the support tonight. Really appreciate it. Commands. Oh gosh, where is it? Cloudbot giveaways. Here we go. Let's see who wins. Winner tonight is Drosarius. Grats. Drosarius is on. I see Drosarius on. All right. Drosarius, you are the winner. I think I got your information, but send it to me just in case. Yep. Let's raid into Darling tonight. And Anna and Will and Tim, thanks a lot for a great show.
Thank you everybody watching and
yes, thank you. Great crowd tonight. So we're raiding the Darling and see what she's up to. She's probably doing some painting over there. And have a fun week, and I'll see you Wednesday night for a really cool discussion. Yeah, thank you. All right, see you soon. Wrong button probably coming. I only hit like one wrong button tonight. So.
Yeah, I was going to say you've been very modest in your.
I was good on wrong buttons tonight. Thanks, Jeremy. Let's get this in.
It's only a matter of time before that ends.
Yeah.
It's like work site, how many days since there's been an accident?
How many days?
100 days, no accidents, boom.
That should be like a counter down in the below, right?
Oh, yeah. Dude, I'm excited, Tim, that you can play in the freaking. You can play in that. That is awesome. Oh, it's gonna be fun. So, all right, 95, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll see you all Wednesday night.
Well, if the character dies, I can take a nap to the next game.
I mean, it depends on how many you want to play in too.
Well, I'm not a quitter.
There you go.
That's awesome.
I got a jet.
If you can do it.